It is 10:01. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Down studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Texans stifled the Steelers, holding them to 175 yards of offense to win 30-6 and move on to the divisional round of the playoffs. They win a 10th straight game and will visit the Patriots this weekend. The loss marks a 7th consecutive postseason loss for Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh. The Titans coaching search continues. Mike Garafolo reported yesterday that he expects the Titans to be in the mix for former Ravens coach John Harbaugh. Jordan Schultz reported today that the Titans will interview former Giants coach Brian Daboll. Today, the Titans interview Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What are the Steelers going to do other than take a fat L last night against the Houston Texans at home in front of tens of thousands of booing Pittsburgh fans? As Robert Walsh noted, Baltimore Ravens fan vigorously fist pumps behind the glass. Good morning. We're happy to have you. The wild card weekend is officially done. And now we talk about the future of Mike Tomlin and what that could mean for the rest of the league. There will be ripple effects one way or another, and we will see what kind of information comes out, if not today, at some point this week. 615-737-1045. That's the number if you would like to participate. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch also available for you to chime in. Good morning, boys.
Robert, starting off the show with a Tomlin taunt on the F&M Bank chat.
What do you mean?
On the YouTube live stream.
I don't think he does it so sensually.
Oh, well, the sound was off, but you couldn't hear it. But I assumed after he was beating on his chest like Donkey Kong, he gave like a kiss, like
just blows a kiss,
and then, mwah. I'm Mike Tomlin. Mwah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
tied with Marvin Lewis for most playoff losses. Mwah. Marvin Lewis, the picture of mediocrity. Mwah.
Listen to me. If he was not the Pittsburgh Steelers coach, you would love that man.
Yeah, I still love that man.
Yeah, he's hard not to.
I'm going to get him in where I can, dude. my team just lost and got their ass beat and let 26 points by that offense in the final week of the season.
Well, that's the thing. Like, insult to injury is the fact that the Texans' offense is awful. I mean,
it was brutal yesterday.
So hard to watch. C.J. Stroud looks like a scared little boy.
2 defensive touchdowns make that score look much, much, much better for Houston, who, by the way, has won 10 straight games.
Yeah.
The longest active win streak in the NFL. It's a 3rd playoff win for C.J. Stroud and DeMeco Ryans, but the headline
that C.J. Stroud does not get that. He does not get that playoff win. I'm sorry.
Dude,
like,
what was that? He looked shook.
But he's looked like that all year long.
Not like that.
Yes.
How many times has he fumbled? 5 times in a game.
But like, even think about that Titans game. They won 27-0. You know what I mean? Just passes, open touchdowns.
Oh, sure.
Open touchdown passes. This dude just sailed over like Dalton Schultz's head.
He's had a weird year, very shaky. And, lest we forget, the Texans started 0-3. And, in Houston, probably thought the season was going down the drain. C.J. Stroud was struggling. He gets hurt. Davis Mills looking like he gives the Texans a better chance to win for a minute. Then Stroud got in and things calmed down. The ship seemed to be steadied. Defense, electric, as always.
Well, they're a cheat code.
Yeah, that front is crazy.
You have 2 defensive tackles in back-to-back weeks scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
Thick sixes for the same defense. Back-to-back weeks.
Edge
Ridiculous.
rushers with 12 or more sacks and Hunter and Will Anderson Jr.
Danico Autry, just an absolute menace as your 5th guy off the bench.
Yep.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, but the headline is Pittsburgh.
Oh, for sure.
What happens from here, because it is just a total reset. The vibes are right back to what they were before that Ravens game the other week.
So I am fascinated to see what Pittsburgh does, because the standing for Tomlin is this. He has a team option on his contract. Now, it was reported weeks ago by Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network that the Steelers were likely to pick up that option and that Mike Tomlin would continue to go on to make ballpark $15 million a year. Again, the coaches' contracts are not public, but the reported figure, the speculated figure is top half of the league, certainly $15 million a year for a guy who's 19 years into his tenure as the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. But, like, things that will shock you, like their 7th straight playoff loss in that situation. Guys like TJ Watt never having a playoff win in their career.
That's insane.
He's got more sacks than JJ, and he doesn't have a playoff win. It's insane. So you understand why Pittsburgh fans feel the way that they do. And you also understand that he would immediately become one of the most coveted candidates in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he's got it. If he's not got one TV offer in his back pocket, he's probably got several. I'm sure every network in America is calling that man, being like, come sit on our desk.
Oh, yeah. Well, Florio reported yesterday that
he's got TV offers?
Well, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk last night, tweeted, Mike Tomlin will not be fired. There is a belief he has a TV offer in his back pocket if he chooses to pursue that path, which he would be excellent at.
As a studio analyst, I would enjoy Mike Tomlin. I don't know what that would look like on games if they chose to put him in there as an analyst, right? Like, because the Bruce Arians thing made sense for a minute, but it just wasn't very good. And then Bruce Arians didn't last very long. Also, people thought Jeff Fisher would be good in the booth, and I think that had like one season on Fox. Either way.
Mike Tomlin is maybe the most quotable NFL head coach of our generation.
Sure, but that job is anyway. That job is not quotes; it's analysis, and I'm sure that he can do the analysis just fine.
It is and it isn't. Like, how much real analysis are we getting from Terry Bradshaw as opposed to just the most outlandish, ridiculous things?
It's completely fair because I'm working on Sundays, so I almost never see those pregame shows. I'm sure Bradshaw's just up there yucking it up. At this point,
yeah.
Like, what has Gronk really given me?
That's what I'm saying. But at the same time, I do think Mike Tomlin would give great analysis. I think he would absolutely crush it on TV.
And he'd probably get a raise to go do TV.
Yep.
I mean, where Brady's the highest paid sports analyst at $37.5 million a year. But, I mean, you've got people like Stephen A. making $20. What's Mike Tomlin worth? Certainly $10 million more than he's making now, at least. Anyway, so we will see what happens. But that would then be, if the Steelers' job were to come open by Tomlin's choice or by the team's choice, I don't think Pittsburgh would eat $15 million to fire him. I think that would be the least likely scenario. So we'll see what he wants to do, what they want to do, and if any information becomes available throughout the course of the show, we will keep you updated on that, of course.
But to your point, they would only have to eat $15 million if he didn't get another job. And with the threat of him going to TV, they could be on the hook for that without him ever going back to coach another team.
Because I just think that's so much more likely than him jumping right back in.
Yeah, why would
he
you
looks
not?
Haggard.
Why would you not pocket $15 million and then also go work on a desk for similar money? It's just basic economics. Come on.
Well, and the other part of this is, like, the job market right now for NFL head coaches is kind of insane. The Titans are interviewing 19 people. I mean, 19 people. That's it's as wide-ranging a search as I can remember in quite some time. So they're true to their word on that.
Isn't it crazy that they're interviewing that long of a list and Clint Kubiak is not on that list?
Again, there is not, to my knowledge, right, of the 19 people, there is not a first-time head coach / offensive play calling option.
Nope.
On that list of 19. There is no Brian Callahan. Well, it wouldn't even be a Brian Callahan candidate. There's no offensive play calling candidate on that list. Now, again, what's to say that they stop at 19 at this point? Because they've still got the better part of the rest of the week to interview. And maybe, I don't know who's scheduling these things for Kubiak versus who's scheduling these things for the Titans. Would you prioritize a Clint Kubiak over Jeff Hafley if they were interviewing for jobs at the same time? There's logistics that can be accounted for here, too. But, yeah, there's not one of those specific types of coaches on this list of 19 people.
By the way, not only is that 7 straight playoff losses for Tomlin, the last 5 have not been competitive. It's 5 straight double-digit playoff losses. They haven't won a playoff game since 2016 when they reached the AFC Championship game, and they just couldn't do anything. Really, neither offense could, save for Christian Kirk, and the Texans did have the ability to run the ball. Woody Marks was good. Nick Chubb was pretty efficient last night, but neither quarterback provided any inspiration whatsoever last night. I mean, was Stroud worse than Rodgers last night?
Stroud was worse than Rodgers to me, yes. Because, Aaron Rodgers can handle that moment. C.J. Stroud was not handling the moment well.
I mean, Rodgers did have 2 turnovers that led straight to touchdowns. The fumble is not necessarily on him.
He got smoked on the fumble.
Yeah,
right?
and the game's over by the time the pick six happened.
Yeah, the game was out of hand. So,
but Stroud was weird, man.
It's not weird. He's been doing this all year in some form or fashion. Again, not to that extreme.
Not like that.
But
Not
this
like
is an extreme example. He's been doing that in some form or fashion all regular season long. He gets to the biggest moment, and he does that in a more extreme situation.
Just straight up dropping the football. It's just falling out of his hands. I guess the snap that he was not prepared for wasn't necessarily on him. Maybe it was. I don't know. Just goes off his chest. He fumbled 5 times and was very fortunate to only lose 2.
That was on that one that hit him in the chest was on the center.
Yeah.
They were talking about it. Apparently, the center felt a ghost tap on his thigh where the right guard or the left guard is supposed to tap him to let him know to snap the ball. Just like a phantom, tap or whatever, and the ball comes out and C.J. Stroud just So not all of that is on him. But it's compounded by a young team, an offense that's disjointed, and a defense that's a cheat code. I don't want to see either of those 2 teams continue to play football this year. I don't want it. I mean, the Texans defense is awesome. I would watch the Texans defense do whatever they want, and they do whatever they want in that situation. I don't want to see either one of those offenses ever again.
They have 3 playoff wins now in this DeMeco Ryans, C.J. Stroud era. What's the most impressive one? Because this one, it's more about Pittsburgh, it feels like, and it's just more of the same. It's the same Pittsburgh we've seen for the last few years under Tomlin. The AFC North just took a few steps down this year. Last year, you had the Justin Herbert meltdown game, which I suppose the Texans deserve credit for.
Defense was good. They weren't this good, but they were good.
Yeah, and the year before that was Browns Joe Flacco, where Joe Flacco, just everything kind of
that one
came to a head. Like law of averages, Joe Flacco threw a bunch of interceptions.
They
and
beat
Texans
the
won.
hell out of the Browns in that game. It was 45 to squat in that one.
And that was his rookie year, right? So it's that one.
He was winning that game made him the youngest quarterback in NFL history to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Stroud?
Yes.
And he hasn't looked the same since, right? This is year 3 for him. And he looks a bit broken. He's looked a bit broken all season long. I think Davis Mills is a safer option at quarterback than C.J. Stroud. Not a higher end option, obviously. C.J. Stroud can do a million different things that Davis Mills can't do. But just a dude who's not going to make those kind of mistakes and let your defense carry you that way. Davis Mills may be the better quarterback option. If they do that in New England, they're going to lose.
The early over-under for that game is what? What do you think? For Texans Patriots at Gillette Stadium Sunday.
What was the lowest over-under for a Titans game this year?
It was
35 or something like that?
No, it was the Browns game, if I'm not mistaken. It was 33.5. I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. It was the lowest point total for any NFL game this year was Titans-Browns, which the over smashed. It was kind of a shootout in the end in the cold. But the Texans-Steelers game, if I remember correctly, was 38.5. What do we think the point total is for Texans-Patriots?
Do you have it in front of you?
Yes.
I will say 42.5.
For this Texans-Patriots game?
Yes.
Let's go 39.5.
40.5.
Okay.
Oh, so we split it.
Split the baby.
Good
Bit of a rock
job.
fight.
Air 5.
That's the most contact we've ever had.
That's because I won't let you get within 6 feet of me.
Could it be uglier than what we saw last night? Last night was gross.
Last night's the ugliest it's going to
That
be.
was so gross.
Last night's the ugliest it's going to be. I'm convinced. Right? I think that Drake May is good enough to make more plays than Aaron Rodgers did. I think the Patriots, they don't have the best offensive line in the world, but I think they got a better one, and I think Josh McDaniels is a better OC than Arthur Smith is. I think the Patriots are going to be prepared for some level of that. They'll still get got. Drake May is going to be underwater for a good portion of this game. And the Patriots don't have as good a defense. Well, I don't know. The Steelers' defense played well last night, and they have had, up and down moments all season long. Patriots defense ultimately ended the game for them against the Chargers with that Milton Williams sack. But if Christian Gonzalez isn't out there, but And also Nico Collins. How many Texans wide receivers got concussed yesterday?
Don't let Christian Kirk get hot. Could be Christian Kirk's playoffs. Career high 144 yards last night. If there's no Christian Gonzalez.
Did we get an update on Woody Marks after the game?
He was great, too.
He probably the best game as a pro. Do you know what his real name is? Woody's obviously the nickname.
No.
I kept checking stats.
Jaquavius?
I was like, who the hell is Jaquavius Marks?
Yeah. Jaquavius Duquesne Woody Marks.
His mama call him Jaquavius. I'm going to call him Jaquavius.
Someone said last night, Woody Marks has suffered a season-ending injury in every NFL game he's played in, and he's returned in every game. Dude just gets rocked.
I mean, some of the hit he and Patrick Queen had, like the collision that him and Patrick Queen had late in that game, that made me hurt through my TV. I was just like, oh, my God.
Woody did a post-game interview with Jane Slater after the game.
Okay, so he must be good.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't put him out there. He wouldn't be made available to TV or media if he was...
Yeah, Nico Collins is the concern there.
But to your point earlier in the show, who had a better night, Rodgers or Stroud? I think Stroud's night looks better because of how well they were running the ball with Marks.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is how you jump in. All right. The portal is an insane thing year after year, but we have a particular level of portal madness that Lucas is going to guide us through coming up next.
Do you guys like rom-coms? Like a good rom-com? I just watched When Harry Met Sally for the first time a couple weeks ago.
What?
Yeah, good movie.
What?
R.I.P. Rob Reiner.
What? For the first time?
First time. I'd never seen it.
Me, an uncultured swine as it relates to the pop culture world and movie consumption. I have seen When Harry Met Sally a million times. It is a certified banger.
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
I just watched Sliding Doors with Cheyenne yesterday.
Oh, Gwyneth Paltrow.
Young Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes.
She walks in on her sweet mate, boyfriend, whatever, hooking up with the gal. I was like, oh, who would cheat on young Gwyneth Paltrow?
I don't. Gwyneth Paltrow does not do it for me. She reminds me of a ghost.
Not even young Gwyneth Paltrow? Oh, she can haunt my chambers. Rattle them chains, girl. Ooh.
If it's not When Harry Met Sally, have you ever seen the You've Got Mail?
Oh, sure.
You've Got Mail.
The
is
other
up there.
Meg Ryan rom-com.
Yes. And I would also submit How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days
Oh, great movie.
as a banger of a rom-com.
McConaughey went through an absolute just gauntlet, just a tear of a failure to launch. Like, it's so many good ones. I say that because we need to figure out a name for the rom-com movie centering around the push for Sam Levitt's heart, his signature. As it appears, he will sign with Lane Kiffin and LSU, the Arizona State quarterback, the number one quarterback in the transfer portal. Welcome back to the show, by the way. We're fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, HattieB.com, and the Hattie B's app. Sam Levitt seems like he's going to Baton Rouge, and here's kind of the chain of events from yesterday. We knew that he was on campus at LSU over a week ago, and then the Damon Williams stuff starts to bubble up at Washington. And it didn't seem like Sam Levitt left LSU on great terms because suddenly Lane Kiffin got a little distracted. And his eyes started wandering a little bit at the idea of this Washington quarterback who was going to break his contract from Washington. So Sam Levitt heads up to Tennessee. He even spends an extra day than was initially planned at Tennessee. We talked about it, and Vols fans are looking around. Oh, could this be happening? Sam Levitt, who took Arizona State to the playoff, won a Big 12 championship. And then the Damon Williams stuff kind of comes to a head. He's going to stay in Washington. And then suddenly Lane Kiffin diverts his attention back to Sam Levitt and says, I'm sorry, baby. It was always you. It was always you, Sam. And not only that, but Lane flies to Knoxville before Sam Levitt goes from Knoxville to Miami for his visit with the Hurricanes, and Kiffin intercepts Sam Levitt in Knoxville, where he used to coach, to meet with him at the Knoxville airport. And, of course, he's posting about it, and he's doing all of these Lane things. And then fast forward to yesterday, where On3 Sports reports that Sam Levitt has committed to LSU. And there you go. It's over. Oh, and then here comes Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports. Tennessee has not given up yet regarding Sam Levitt. Josh Heupel, the one running through an airport with flowers. And the Vols still push for Sam Levitt in hopes of remaining in consideration for him, according to CBS. And then, once again, it gets reaffirmed. No. Sam Levitt seems like he's going to go to LSU. So, in the contest for who's more desperate for a starting quarterback in 2026, Lane Kiffin, it seems, has won that contest. And I believe it. I believe that Lane Kiffin sure as hell wasn't going to be outbid for his first starting quarterback at LSU by his former employer, Tennessee, who he left high and dry all those years ago. And then hovering over all of that, this is from Wes Rucker, the judge in the Joey Aguilar case for another year of eligibility, says he cannot meet with plaintiffs and defendants this week, even though the portal closes on Friday. The judge said the hearing cannot be scheduled for at least a couple of weeks. Doesn't have time for it.
All right, I got it. What the rom-com
Yes,
would be called?
please.
Love It or Levitt.
Oh, my God. You are so good.
It was right there.
I can't help it, dude. It just pops in my noggin.
was
Love
right
it
there.
or
He's-
love it.
He's been waiting for 5 minutes for you to shut up so he could get that out.
I was trying to buy you time, but clearly you didn't need that.
I
The
did.
amount of time. No, you were trying to buy him time,
It
please.
took like 15 seconds, and I got in Buck's ear. I was like, I got it. I know the name. I know what it'd be called.
I literally said back to him in his ear, he's not going to stop. You just have to cut him off.
Who plays Kiffin?
Oh, easy. Oh my God, I'm blanking on the guy's name. The guy who Lane Kiffin thinks he looks like. We were just talking about this
Ryan
last
Gosling?
week. Ryan Gosling.
Okay. Who plays Heupel?
Bobby Hill. I don't know. I don't know who's
Has to be a real person.
Oh, Hauser. What's his name? Dadgummit. Hold on.
Hauser. Who is Hauser?
He's like a short, fat, like Paul Walter Hauser.
Oh, he's
Paul
too
Walter.
young. He's too young.
No, they can make him look older.
We got it.
Yeah, you don't think they could make him
He's
look
got to be.
that is that who? Okay, who you got?
I don't know. I got nothing better. I don't have anything better.
Paul Walter.
Okay. All right.
I'm telling you,
It's perfect.
Who does Timothy Chalamet play?
Oh, you just have to have
He has to be in
the
it.
quarterback.
He doesn't look like a quarterback, though. Who plays Sam Levitt then?
I got to see what Sam Levitt looks like.
He's got like wavy blonde hair, younger guy.
Who plays Timothy, or who does Timothy Chalamet play? Like, we've just got a log jam Timothy
Log
Chalamet.
jam him as like the agent or something. I don't know. Daniel Tosh plays Kiffin. That's good. That's good.
I can get down
that's
with that.
really good.
I can get down with that.
As far as lookalikes go, that's pretty close.
Oh, yeah. Tosh has leaned into that in the past.
Has he really? Oh, I bet
yeah.
that's funny.
Oh, have you never seen his bits?
No.
Oh,
I haven't
look it
seen
up.
Daniel Tosh since Tosh.0. Where is Daniel Tosh now?
He has an incredible podcast.
Yeah, he's doing his
Okay.
own thing. He's going on tour, about to go on tour again. So, someone said Kevin James for Josh Heupel.
Shane Gillis.
He's already done the football
He's
coach.
played Sean Payton.
He was
Yeah.
already Sean Payton.
So,
Shane Gillis.
So that's where things stand. It looks like Sam Levitt's headed to LSU. And in the meantime, while all this was happening, Bo Prabula committed to UVA. And I don't think Tennessee necessarily pushed hard for Bo Prabula. I think they kind of let him go. And now the Vols are sitting here without a quarterback. And we know they need a quarterback, not because they absolutely cannot start George McIntyre or Faison Brandon. If that was best case scenario, they would have probably already gone down that path and not pushed for a starter and not tried to outbid LSU for Sam Levitt. But yes, it could come to that. Tennessee still needs to get a quarterback. They need a third scholarship body. They need to fill out a room. So interesting times right now for Josh Heupel and his coaching staff trying to figure this out.
So that is a less than ideal circumstance for the University of Tennessee, because the last thing that you want is Josh Heupel with a, how would you, I know we're going to do pressure index on coaches who are actively coaching in the playoffs later on in the week. Do real sports talk radio for once. But scale of 1 to 10, what is the pressure on Josh Heupel heading into 2026 to you?
7.
Really?
Yeah, I'd put a 7 on it.
That's pretty high.
It's pretty high. And
Okay, so Josh Heupel with an above average level of pressure on him, doing things that he's never done, making changes as far as assistant coaches and coordinators go, and the best option at quarterback being a true freshman?
Or a redshirt freshman. I don't know. I mean, it would have to be a full-out competition between the two.
That's shaky ground
Yeah.
for Josh Heupel to head into. That job is such a fishbowl, man. Like that's
Year 6,
That's a very unpleasant situation for Josh Heupel if that is what he has to do.
schedule is brutal.
Yes.
Like, schedule this past year, very navigable. Schedule in 2026, you're at Georgia Tech. You host Texas. You host Auburn. You go to Arkansas, host Bama, go to South Carolina, go to Texas A&M, host LSU, go to Vanderbilt. Man, it is not a cakewalk. So we can't sit here in January and say, if this, then that, right? If Tennessee goes 8-4, Josh Heupel fired, no holds barred. Context is everything. We have to see how this happens. But the pressure for Tennessee to get back to the playoff is going to be immense in 2026. And the fact that they were pushing and were presenting these bids for a starting quarterback, high-level starting quarterbacks, shows you that they don't think George McIntyre and Faison Brandon is the best case right now. They've evaluated those guys. Clearly, they like those players. They are in their program. They know the system. Absolutely, that could be what it comes to in 2026. Adam Sparks will join us tomorrow to talk about the validity of some of those things, what that could look like for Tennessee. But in the end, they just weren't as desperate as the likes of LSU and Texas Tech to shell out this kind of cash. Have you seen some of the new details on Brendan Sorsby's deal?
I have not.
Austin Price was talking about it. VolQuest has reported on this. Price talked about it with Ramon and Will this morning. The deal in totality, when you include the buyout at Cincinnati, the $5 million approximately that he's getting, all of the perks he's getting, it hovers around like $8 million. He's got a wheels up perk where he can fly 12 people, family and friends of his choosing.
The quarterback?
Yes, to any home or away game that Texas Tech plays at the snap of a finger.
Oh.
Like they're providing him housing.
Oh,
It's
my God.
insane. It's insane, this stuff, and it's only going to keep going up. And I don't know what the final number was for Tennessee, where Tennessee just had to stop when it came to the Sam Levitt sweepstakes, love it or leave it. But it's clear they came up short of Lane Kiffin and LSU. And now here they are, a little bit back to square one. And I feel bad for Joey Aguilar in all of this. As the judge says, we don't have time for this week. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks. And by that point, it might be too late. I don't envy Aguilar sitting here in this limbo trying to figure out what he does from here.
What's the level of BVS?
Oh, it's kind of bubbling under the surface. I'd call it a 5. The thing is, Tennessee's done some nice work in the portal outside of all the quarterback drama. They've really addressed some needs on defense. We learned today that TJ Metcalf, the Michigan starting safety, has committed to Tennessee. He'll join Jim Knowles' defense. They've kind of pilfered some talent from Penn State that will come over with intimate knowledge of the Jim Knowles defense. Chaz Coleman, number 1 edge in the class. The big get there. They've made some defensive linebacker acquisitions. Suddenly you feel pretty good about the talent level on defense and the pedigree that Jim Knowles brings in. Feel good about the wide receiver room. It was never a need for Tennessee in the portal. Cooper Ranvier checked a big box. The kicker out of Louisville coming in. But who's going to play quarterback? And how much will that player determine Tennessee's ceiling in 2026? Because it's not going to be Sam Levitt.
The chat has suggested Sandra Bullock as Sam Levitt's mother.
Of course.
And Michael Orr as Michael Orr.
Oh, Michael Orr is in the movie.
Yes.
What's he doing here?
Doesn't matter.
What's he's up to
What's
these days?
Chalamet doing there? I don't know.
Well, it's just, that's the thing now. You got to put Chalamet in
Is The
every
Blind
movie.
Side a rom-com?
No. In what world is it a rom-com? What romance is there in The Blind Side?
The relationship between, what's the country singer?
Tim McGraw and Sandra Bullock? They're just a married couple. No.
Yeah,
no.
they don't love each other. What are we talking about? They've
not
been
even-
married for years.
It's not even remotely a
Listen,
rom-com.
after all the details on the Michael Orr thing, the real-life Michael Orr thing came out, I think it's fair to question if those people actually love each other.
Larry
Lights are never
says
on.
Jennifer Lopez plays Pavia's mom. He said, let's shoehorn her into the movie.
Yeah, we can do that.
So,
Greenlit.
straight out of Central Casting, huh? Anyway,
So, I don't know. I don't know where this goes from here for Tennessee and Josh Heupel at quarterback.
somebody says he loves the sport. It's a rom-com. Love of the game. Loves ball.
Okay.
All right. Robert, you want to know who Dan Graziano is predicting the Ravens would land as the next head coach? He's got predictions for all 8 jobs.
Oh, tell me. Wait,
Do you want to take a guess first? Because you already took a guess during the commercial break, but we won't count it.
okay. Is it an offensive or defensive guy?
No, I'm not going to give you that here.
It's Clint Kubiak.
It's not.
Oh,
Who do you want it to be?
Clint, Anthony Weaver, Brian Flores.
It's none of those people.
Oof. Is it Stefanski?
It is.
Dang it.
You don't
Yeah,
want Stefanski.
I really don't. Not that I hate the guy, but I would just rather them be really convicted on their choice, and I would not have a lot of conviction behind. He was the betting favorite when the job became open. The odds have slightly shifted. So I would say no, I do not want Stefanski.
Guesses on the Titans.
Nagy.
Yeah, probably Nagy.
It's Nagy.
Yeah.
Yes. Go through the
Are they gonna interview 19 people just to hire Matt Nagy? Like, I think that's the thing that's going to bother the fan base most.
Yeah, I
If
don't
we
know.
go through all of this and
It
you're like,
shouldn't, though.
every candidate under the sun just to go with Matt Nagy, which is fine. Like, I'm good with that. I'm okay with that. I know Titans fans won't be, but I'm good with that.
I think interviewing a bevy of candidates is a good thing.
I agree.
The more people, there's no salary cap on how many interviews you can do. There's no information stack on, you can only talk to so many people. You might as well talk to everyone and see what their plans are and see how that could gel with anyone that you hire.
Who plays Kevin Stefanski
Ooh,
in the movie about the Titans coaching search?
one of the Softy brothers, because they're probably producing this. Ben or what are the Softy brothers?
Who are
Guy-
these people?
The people that directed Uncut Gems, the people that directed the new Timothy Chalamet movie.
I've seen none of these.
Marty Supreme.
You haven't seen Uncut Gems?
No.
It's incredible.
It's
It's
a
probably
fantastic
Adam
movie.
Sandler's most dramatic role.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crushed
I
it.
don't think I want dramatic Adam
Oh,
Sandler.
it's
No,
I
it's,
didn't want dramatic Jim Carrey.
It's
it
so
is
good.
incredible.
He crushed it.
It's one of those movies like Usual Suspects that once you see it, there's like an old bleep moment in it where all hope is lost. Like, it just a fantastic movie. fantastic. In fact, I'm putting it on my calendar to watch tonight.
Ann says Billy Bob Thornton. Jess says Joaquin Phoenix plays Kevin Stefanski.
I feel like Kevin Stefanski, I don't know, he's kind of a generic looking human being, isn't he?
Yeah, it just looks like a
He's got that gray beard.
Just like a scruffy Midwestern, silver fox type.
yeah, like white dude baseball parent.
Yes, he's very much white dude baseball parent.
Jason Statham.
Who,
Don't even attempt to make him look like Kevin Stefanski. Just
who are the other predictions? I need to know. Who are the
All right.
Raiders getting?
Who are the Raiders getting?
Who plays Mark Davis?
It
Paul
is
Walter Hauser.
all right.
Two
We'll
different-
go alphabetically. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Arizona, Clint Kubiak. Atlanta, John Harbaugh.
Ooh.
Baltimore, Kevin Stefanski.
George Clooney plays Harbaugh.
I think Clooney looks more like Stefanski than he does Harbaugh.
I love that we're just Ocean's 11ing this. Like, who's Brad Pitt? Who is?
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt's got it.
Brad Pitt's in here somewhere. Mike McDaniel, Browns.
Okay.
That's Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah. Oh, you're 100% right. Yes, that's Timothy Chalamet.
Raiders. This is an interesting one. Any guesses? Who haven't we named?
Well, we know
Who
Christian
would play
Bale
him in a movie?
Christian Bale's playing Al Davis in the movie about John Madden. Could he also play Mark Davis? No.
I mean, I didn't think he could do.
No, you're right.
I didn't think he could do Cheney. But
You're right. There are no bounds to what he can
Robert
play.
Saleh in Vegas.
And they already tried to get him. This would be their second pass at him. Fitzy told us before that they offered him the head coach in waiting if he would come be the DC, which he balked at. He's like, I'd rather go play with the 49ers again and play with my own toys. So it would make sense if they made a secondary pass at him.
Dwayne Johnson.
Sure.
Oh, he would have to. Oh, I guess he is a little slimmer now.
He's slim.
You wouldn't like Michael Keegan? Michael Keegan, I bet he
Keegan
could play.
Michael Key from Key and Peele.
I'll bleep your life up, man.
He's perfect. Dolphins, Chris Shula, because of course, just keep it in the family.
Right.
And Giants, Jeff Hafley.
Okay.
Titans,
Jeff
Nagy.
Hafley sounds like an actor.
It does.
Starring Jeff Hafley
So
as.
that's our Brad Pitt.
Yeah, I could get down with that. I don't know. Shula's kind of hot, too.
Is he?
Yeah, Shula's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but he's so young. Brad does look young.
Shula's what, 39?
I think he's the youngest coach.
Brad looks
on
young
the
because
market.
Brad has had significant work done,
Yes.
which, more power to him.
Okay, so then Chris Hemsworth then.
Okay.
No, Hemsworth is like a linebacker. He's not a coach.
Well, we could get him skinny again. He can get him off that Thor diet plan.
Edward Norton plays Jeff Hafley.
Okay, there you go.
He's giving me Ed Norton vibes.
Yes.
What do we have to give away for Oh No?
God, I don't know who would play.
I want to keep doing this. I don't want to actually do serious sports talk today. I would much rather do this.
We're going to have to get some serious submissions because once again, we have what I'm saying will be the best ticket that we give away in 2026. If you can tell us what made you
Better
say
than Seinfeld?
yes, we are once again giving tickets away for Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton and Lainey Wilson. Hey, y'all. I'm going to be opening up for Chris Stapleton.
You need to stop doing that.
Despite having to hear her god-awful
She's
voice.
a very nice person.
I'm sure she, yes, I treat them just like my mama would. I'm Lainey Wilson, y'all.
I just think it's funny you with that accent making fun of her accent.
Yeah, mine's real. This is how I really sound.
You don't know that hers isn't.
When she goes home and
Reckless speculation. You need to recklessly speculate if you're going to make these
I
allegations.
don't think so.
Turn the sound on.
She does seem lovely.
She gets home and takes her sweats off, and she's like, I can't even stand coming out and talking to these people. What in the world?
Who do you think in music most has a fake voice?
Her. 100% her. In a weak moment, if you were to rear end her car and she got out, she would be like, what the heck are you doing? What are you doing back there?
She's British now.
She doesn't sound like whatever she sounds like. I don't believe that. And someone needs to get her in a weak moment, step on her toe, and see how she cusses. If she cusses like that, where she's like, "Dadgummit, what the hell?" Then okay.
I
that's what
imagine she
sounds
cusses like Philip Rivers cusses. She doesn't actually cuss, but it's dadgummit.
Dang nabbit.
615-737. We have to stop this. 615-737. 877-1045 is the number. Call us. Tell us what in sports made you say, oh no. Get 2 tickets to Chris Stapleton's upcoming show at Nissan Stadium and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa next. for the opportunity to win a pair of tickets to Chris Stapleton's upcoming concert at Nissan Stadium and a $100 gift card to a Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. What in sports made you say, oh no? 615-737-1045. We'll get to your calls here in a second. We are the only ones in sports media, it seems, who have not commented on Liam Cohen's exchange with a Jacksonville reporter. And I suppose we should do that now. Robert, can I hear the audio after the Jags lose at home to the Bills of Liam Cohen's exchange in the post-game press conference?
I want to tell you congratulations on your success, young man.
Thank you.
You hold your head up, all right? You guys have had a most magnificent season.
Thank you.
And you did a great job out there today.
Appreciate
so you
it.
just hold your head up, okay?
Thank
and
you,
ladies
ma'am.
and gentlemen, Duval, you the one, all
Thank
right?
you, ma'am.
keep it going. We got another season, okay?
I appreciate
Take
it.
care and much continued success to you and the entire team.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so that is Lynn Jones, who is the editor, and apparently she does some sales stuff for the Jacksonville Free Press, in a post-game press conference talking about, giving Liam Cohen some words of encouragement. And for some reason, sports media people have taken to Twitter and decided that they need to comment on our entire profession and the sanctity of journalism and how this violates all of it. I will tell you, it gives me the ick. I would have a visceral reaction if I was in a press conference where that happened. I hate the fact that she said Duval afterwards. That's not a place for fans. It's credentialed media. It's Dan Patrick, I heard say something about it being an abuse of access the other day, and I thought that was really well contextualized. It's a nice sentiment. Both things can be true. It can be wrong and inappropriate and not the right place to do that, and it can be a nice thing for you to pass along to Liam Cohen in a private moment. I hated it in the press conference. Maybe you think that makes me a bad person. Maybe you think there's so many bad things happening in the world. Do you have to criticize somebody saying something nice about, giving some words of support to a clearly emotional coach who's just experienced his first loss in the postseason in his first year? Whatever. It's gross. It's unprofessional. Do it on your own time.
I agree. It made me cringe. That was pretty cringy. In the college game, there's so many reporters, beat writers that are fans, alums of that team, and you don't even see anything to that extreme.
Imagine,
I didn't like that.
Imagine if Kaharski or me or Tehran or anybody did that with, like, Callahan when he started crying after the Patriots game.
Well,
Get outta
Vrabel
here.
is who you would have done it with.
Sure.
But yeah,
I just write Mike notes, love notes off to the
it
side.
made me cringe. My oh no is NFL playoff scheduling. 3 teams have to play on a short week this weekend. The Rams and Bears played on Saturday. They play each other on Sunday, so they don't have to deal with it. The Niners beat the Eagles Sunday. They have to play Seattle Saturday. The Bills beat the Jags on Sunday. They have to play Denver Saturday. Houston won last night. They have to play New England on Sunday on a short week. New England doesn't have to play a short week. Houston does. In the playoffs, 3 teams that have to play on a short week. Could have been fixed pretty easily. I get that the NFL has to own every night. They want to own that Monday night as well, the last Monday Night Football game of the year. But if you put Rams-Bears on Saturday and 49ers-Seahawks on Sunday, then you alleviate that. 2 of those teams out of those 3 don't have to play in a short week. I don't get it. I understand the gripe with it. Kyle Shanahan said after they beat the Eagles, hope the NFL is cool about this and doesn't schedule us on Saturday. After winning on Sunday night in Philadelphia, what did they do? Scheduled them on Saturday. Feel like it's pretty easily fixable. So NFL playoff scheduling right now is what made me say, oh no.
I don't know this week. Brad Crawford at 247 does a really great job covering recruiting, covering transfer portal. He put this tweet out. ECU had a legit chance at winning the AAC and getting to the CFB playoff in 2026 before the portal. And then he lists 9 players who transferred off of the East Carolina team to Power 4 schools. A quarterback, running back, wide receiver, 2 tight ends, one of which went to Vanderbilt and Javante Connor, 2 tackles, a defensive lineman, and a safety. And I could not agree with this less because I think this is how teams in the AAC, in Conference USA, are going to have to thrive to be a successful team moving forward. What he doesn't mention is every player, sans one of the tackles, were added to East Carolina last year in the transfer portal. So if you're East Carolina, the way I would message to transfer portals or recruits is, hey, we know you may not be here for your entire tenure in college. You may not want to come and retire a Pirate, but in the interim, while you are here, we will give you the best opportunity to put you at a P4 school. So I think East Carolina, if you look at their transfer portal additions this year, they've added, I believe it's 16 different guys, most of them from former P4 schools. So I think this is less about, hey, look how much talent they've lost, and more of a, hey, look at what we can do for you if you have not had the best career that you thought you should have had at Miami, at Houston, at Tennessee, where have you. We can get you to a P4 job. I think it is a good thing and not a bad thing that Brad Crawford is alleging it is.
615-737-1045. What in sports made you say, oh, no? Let's start with Gene in Lebanon.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I was at the hockey game Thursday night against the Caps, and Stamkos got on a breakaway unabated to the goal, and the goalie made like a lineman coming out and taking out a safety. He came out to cover the puck before Stamkos could get to it, and in the interim, he actually blocked Stamkos and he flipped over him.
Yeah. I saw.
I would say that made the Sports Center's whoopsie.
Yeah, it was. Thank God Stamkos was okay in that situation. Remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win those tickets. They're like sneaky.
Oh, they're hot.
Solid.
They've won 8 of 12. They play the Oilers at home tonight, and
They're
yes,
damn near 500, aren't they?
yeah. No, the Preds are playing their best hockey.
All right. Well done. I may go to the game tonight. So let's go to Jeremy in Hendersonville.
Yeah, so my I know is going to be what NIL obviously might be doing, or it might be doing to the whole state of football. I'm a college football fan. I'm an NFL football fan. So when you bring in these kids that, like, you have Kiffin pulling up to an airport to cut a kid off, Sam Levitt, before he gets down to Miami, gets offered too much money, and they no telling what they offered him. I haven't heard. And then you get the kid like from Cincinnati, headed down to Tech. Was that really the best spot for him, and is that really the best development spot for him? Now, go get your money, people. I'm all for it, and if you can get that kind of money at that age, and more power to you. But the flip side of the coin of that, on the NFL side, is that we always say about in boxing, the worst thing you can do to a fighter is give him some money, and he's not hungry anymore. He doesn't. It's tough to fight, tough to really want it when you're already a millionaire. So in the NFL, when these kids are skipping schools back and forth and they're not getting developed under one school, Peyton was, had all that development under, Clawson there for years. I'm sure that helped him out. In the NFL, what's this doing to these kids when A1, they got millions in their pocket, and B, they weren't developed under the same program over and over again? We knock it in right now. We're worried about with Cam. He's going to switch up and have a different offense.
All right, that is well over 60 seconds on the clock, Jeremy. We appreciate the call.
He makes a good point.
Entitlement is his point.
That's the best Boomhauer impersonation I think I've ever heard.
Do you think he sounds like Boomhauer?
He was just going really quick.
Well, yeah, he trying to get it under 60 seconds. He got close. Dylan in Hermitage.
Yeah, just want to talk about one of my best friends who's a Capitals fan. He wanted to see Ovechkin play, and they were playing the Predators, and he said, I'm going to get great tickets and set up the whole thing. And he ended up calling me the day of the game and saying, yeah, well, my North Carolina bank account is not able to purchase tickets to this game. And I'm just like, oh, are you kidding me? Are the Predators an elite team right now? Are they selling out every game? I just didn't understand that.
They still do that? The geofencing on the tickets?
Interesting.
Seattle did something similar
Thanks
to
for the call.
the game they're selling next week,
That sucks.
where they're going to put a tax on people that sell their season tickets to people that are not Seattle fans.
Ooh, I kind of like that more than I like the idea of just boxing people out. Anyway, Jay in Spring Hill.
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for taking my call. So my oh no was the Dallas Cowboy fan or social media influencer who went down to Dallas County City Hall, and he advocated for the firing of Jerry Jones, and he, about his losing record, and he lobbied for the cartel, and his rationale was because they knew how to cross the white line.
My goodness.
And it's on YouTube. I thought it was a joke, but the councilmen and women are sitting there.
Excellent. Do you have it in front of you? Did you
No,
look it up?
no.
That's great. Thank you for the call, Jay.
Picturing him doing it in front of city council.
All right, so Gene in Lebanon with Steven Stamkos getting flipped by a goaltender. Jeremy in Hendersonville basically saying NIL leading to entitlement. Dylan in Hermitage with the Preds and their geofencing ticket buying tactics. And Jay in Spring Hill with the Cowboys influencer lobbying
For the cartel to run the Cowboys.
let's
go with Jay.
I think it's Jay. Jay, enjoy the Chris Stapleton concert and the $100 gift card, courtesy of A Moment's Peace Salon and Day Spa. Robert will be in touch shortly. Coming up next, we will get into the fallout of the Houston-Pittsburgh game last night. What does it mean for Mike Tomlin? I'm Buck Rising, 104.5 The Zone.
11:03. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Down studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Texans stifled the Steelers, holding them to 175 yards and winning 30-6. Houston moves on to the divisional round of the playoffs after winning a 10th straight game, and they visit the Patriots this weekend. Meanwhile, the loss marks a 7th consecutive postseason loss for Mike Tomlin and Pittsburgh. The Titans coaching search continues. Mike Garafolo reported yesterday that he expects the Titans to be in the mix for former Ravens coach John Harbaugh. Jordan Schultz reported today that the Titans will speak with former Giants coach Brian Daboll. Today, the Titans interview Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Now, we are going to talk about the fallout of last night's wild card weekend nightcap, which is the Houston Texans just dusting the Pittsburgh Steelers and sending Aaron Rodgers likely into retirement and Mike Tomlin potentially somewhere else. We'll see what happens with Mike Tomlin today, if not tomorrow. I would assume that there would be some kind of statement made on behalf of the organization as to what their plan will be. I don't really know what people expect as far as Mike Tomlin goes today. I think it's just all up in the air. It was a lot of speculation last night on the broadcast where Joe Buck was asking Troy Aikman basically like, hey, best guess, what happens with Aaron Rodgers? What happens with Mike Tomlin? And of Rodgers, Troy Aikman said, and again, he's not speaking for Aaron Rodgers, but just Troy Aikman up there speculating because it's a terrible game. They got to have something to talk about, so they started talking about Aaron Rodgers' future at 42 years old. By the way, hilarious that Aaron Rodgers is still out there doing it when he's older than D'Amico Ryans, who has a sack against him as a Houston Texans linebacker 100 years ago. Anyway, more likely, Aaron Rodgers plays in 2026, Aaron Rodgers retires.
Retires.
Most likely, he will drag this out all offseason, and we will have a decision in late August.
Lisa
still
Salter
deciding.
Lisa Salter said on the broadcast that Rodgers told them he is probably retiring when they spoke to him back in week 15. The most Aaron Rodgers thing ever.
Maybe.
Just leave that door.
Err on the side of caution.
Yeah. I think that Robert is closest to the pin on that one, where it's just, it feels like we're going to, he doesn't act like he enjoys being the center of conversation, but he clearly has some interest in being the center of the conversation.
Oh, he loves
acting like he doesn't want to be the center of the conversation.
Being the center of attention and pretending like he hates it and is so bothered by it. I think he probably retires, but I know that regardless of what he decides to do, it will be the most painstaking, annoying path to getting there.
I think he comes back.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, to Pittsburgh. One, because outside of, we've talked about Malik Willis being a quarterback option for these quarterback-needy teams, there are not a ton of guys outside of the Mac Joneses, the reclamation projects of the world. Pittsburgh has once again played themselves into a later than 20 draft pick by going to the playoffs. And I think he's driven by ego, and he will not allow his final pass to be a pick six.
I think he just comes back for a game, throws a touchdown, then retires.
Wouldn't surprise me. If you maybe call Phillip Rivers, see if he wants to take the Phillip Rivers route and just play a couple games if he's needed.
Well, Phil wants to coach.
Would you change your tune if we learned today that Mike Tomlin will not return in Pittsburgh?
Yes, Rodgers would retire because I don't think he would get another job opportunity.
Quarterback free agents that are, well, guys that are expected to be free agents at the quarterback position in 2026. Daniel Jones, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Marcus Mariota, Zach Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Garoppolo, Trubisky, Case Keenum still out here doing it at 37.
Hell yeah.
Trey Lance, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, sneaky old. 33 Carson Wentz. Malik Willis, Titans legend Brandon Allen, And then you get into like Bridgewater and Kyle Allen and those kind. Tommy DeVito.
Who of those names could actually be brought in as a starter?
Zach Wilson. They should bring Zach Wilson in.
Zach Wilson.
I think he would just really set the Steelers off.
I think he's campaigning for Pittsburgh.
No. I think that he has some untapped potential that is necessary in the cold. I mean, when you watch Zach Wilson's game.
The mothers are too ugly in Pittsburgh for Zach Wilson to want to go to Pittsburgh.
Ah, dang it.
So you're saying you don't want him there? If he would be good.
I would be terrified if Zach Wilson went to the Steelers. I think I would just turn my Ravens fandom card in.
Who would you least like to see of those names that I just named? Because they're all names that you would probably be okay with playing twice a year. Malik?
Him or...
Who's calling the plays for Malik, though? Like, if he goes from LaFleur to whatever this next situation is going to be, does he look all of a sudden a bit more mortal? I'm not saying that Malik hasn't made progress that is, that deserves to be paid. To his credit, he looks great every time he gets out there for Green Bay. But that's a very specific situation that he's in.
The guy that would scare me the most is a guy that is not on that list because he will not be a free agent, but I think he will be available in Kyler Murray.
What quarterback that's currently on a roster do we think is most likely to be available next year? Kyler?
Kyler, I think if the Dolphins would like to get him off his roster that bad enough, Tua.
Who the hell is going to take him?
I mean, if the Dolphins eat money in a lame duck year, kind of like what we...
So much money.
I mean, it would be a poison pill. You'd have to eat it once and be done with it, take your medicine. You gave him the bad contract, but then be able to move on.
What about one of Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix Jr.? Or would it make sense just for Atlanta to just continue to hedge your bets there?
No, I think Kirk Cousins should be the starting quarterback for them. I'm confused as to why you're so down on Kirk. Like, Kirk's fine.
I'm not down on Kirk. I just think that he's inconsistent. He is not going to be. I think the older he gets, the more Russell Wilson-esque he's going to be.
I do think watching Brady and Rodgers and all of these guys play into their late 30s, early 40s has readjusted the conversation around what constitutes, because now suddenly 35 years old as a starting quarterback doesn't seem that untenable.
No, that's when we used to send them to the glue factory at 35 years old.
But for the most part, that is the age where you are not anywhere close to the peak of your powers and you're going to find some struggles. So Kirk going to be 38 next year, right? 38 when the season kicks off, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good situation, but I think they're good enough in Atlanta to do. It's about the division to me. Like, can you win the division with Kirk Cousins, a really good defense, a solid running game, and a good offensive line? I think yes.
We do agree, by the way, on Pittsburgh that it's more likely than not that both Tomlin and Rodgers are done.
I don't know about Tomlin. I genuinely don't. I have no idea what to do with Tomlin, but I think Rodgers either way.
I think Pittsburgh has put themselves in a position where if you look at their salary cap, 4 of their 5 top paid players are all on defense. All of those players will turn 29 or older this coming year, the youngest being DK, who just turned 28. They have hedged their bets by having the highest paid defense in the league, by paying a lot of their elder statesmen like Cam Hayward. That they're kind of in a chips pushed forward mode where I feel like the Steelers need Tomlin more than Tomlin needs the Steelers next year.
I just don't think they're a very attractive job if you really peel back the layers on that onion. Their first round pick is going to be where?
Yeah, in
low 20s?
Low 20s.
22, 23.
Okay, high 20s.
And the Garofalo tweet where he mentioned all of the things that made the Titans attractive. Which of those do the Steelers have? And I know we downplayed the new stadium, but the Steelers do not have a new stadium. They have $65 million in cap space, which is a good amount. I think that's 8th in the NFL. They don't have a quarterback, and I just think a lot of it's in flux. I don't think they would look as attractive.
No, I don't think they do at all. And I just to be clear on the new stadium, it's not a bad thing. Like, it's just like, it's a nice toss-in.
It's like
bonus.
a perk.
It's a perk.
Yeah.
But like, stop citing it as one of the primary reasons why somebody would want the Titans job. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, the young quarterback, the blank canvas, the cap space,
Jeffrey
top 5
Simmons,
pick.
cap space, Borgonzi, Cam
so
Ward,
many
all reasons why a coach would want to come here. The stadium is just like, oh, okay.
That's
nice
cool.
perk.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's not it's just the overemphasis on it is a weird thing to me. Anyway.
Well, the question that we have not asked is, if Tomlin is done in Pittsburgh and wants to continue coaching, is he a more attractive or less attractive candidate than John Harbaugh?
Push. I think you're basically talking about the same thing. I mean, I know Tomlin has a specialty on one side of the ball defensively, whereas Harbaugh is a former special teams coach, but they're
both are CEOs.
They are the CEO of the program. They are the adult in the room. They understand how to navigate difficult situations with difficult personalities. Would you say that John Harbaugh makes good hires, Robert? Historically.
On the defensive side, yes. If you go look at his offensive coordinators over the last couple of years, the Monken has been far and away the best, even though Greg Roman led them to more prolific offensive numbers. His last 2 hires were great, but then there are also Mark Trestman, Marty Morningweg, a ton of just goobers along for the ride.
Who's the OC when y'all won the Super Bowl with Flacco?
They fired Cam Cameron.
Fired Cam Cameron and then went to, who was the cat?
Was it Hugh,
in Detroit?
Hugh Jackson, was it?
No, not Wolverine.
That was 2012 when they won the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember they fired Cam Cameron.
It was Cam Cameron, and then they went to Jim Caldwell. I couldn't remember Jim Caldwell.
Okay. Jim Caldwell, the perpetual Rooney Rule interview.
And I was going to bring this up, too. David Shaw got his mandatory head coaching interview, even though David Shaw will probably never be the head coach of any program ever.
Yeah, God. He has to be sick of that. So I think Tomlin and Harbaugh are going to be talked about in the same terms, right? Legendary coach, Super Bowl champion, looking for a fresh start. The question is, do they want to build at this stage of their career? Because Tomlin is significantly younger than Harbaugh, right? Like, he's not in his 60s. He's probably 52,
53. He'll turn 54 in March.
So young when he got that job. My God. That's crazy. So I think that Mike Tomlin, I would say for no other reason but age, I would favor Tomlin over Harbaugh. Because in a place like this, I think you need long-term stability. And I think they both have been long-term stability for their previous places, but you've got more legs on Tomlin than you do on Harbaugh. And again, I want to know what they're both going to do. I think it's entirely possible that John Harbaugh looks around, does a bunch of interviews, and says, okay, maybe this year, maybe next year. I don't know. I think it's entirely possible that Mike Tomlin, who's done this for 19 straight years, looks around and is like, okay, maybe. We'll see what it looks like next year. I just don't think because they're out there or could be out there that they would definitively be coaching next year. Although Jim Harbaugh seems to think that his brother's going to be immediately back on a sideline. So
I'm going to be honest, I was a little upset about this segment.
Why? What happened?
Because when I saw the grid and it said Fallout, I assumed we were going to talk about the new season of Fallout. But
how many times are you going to make that joke to me today?
Well, only once on air. I'm done now. God, it's so good.
Do you have Fallout thoughts?
I love it. Thursdays are the best day of the week now. Traders and Fallout.
I'm glad we took time for that. 615-737-1045. Jason Fitz next. You've only got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you're noticing issues with ED or performance, then your relationships, your confidence, and even your career may have already been affected. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is here to help you. No more excuses if you've been procrastinating, getting some help if you feel like performance has been a struggle. Tennessee Men's Clinic is the state's first men's health-focused urology practice. Multiple urologists and providers focus solely on male performance. They're going to get you right the right way. No unproven snake oil or peptides without solid research. Since 2014, they've pioneered men's health in Tennessee and have been testing and growing to make sure that you can get the best care and the safest, most effective treatments. Online folks promise convenience and discretion, but their treatments are generic and some even unsafe. So call the Tennessee Men's Clinic at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090 or book online in under 30 seconds at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. A national championship game is set. There are 8 openings in the NFL, maybe one more. We will continue to monitor as Jason Fitz of Yahoo Sports joins us on 104.5 The Zone. We're fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Fitzy, what are you more entertained by right now, this Indiana run in the college football playoff or this NFL head coaching carousel?
The Indiana run is just so legendary to watch. I mean, this is such a cool moment for sports, right? Like, because I've heard for years some of our friends yelling about the death of college football while I'm watching Indiana do this. I'm watching this run by this team. To me, it's so special to see just the level of butt whooping that they put on everybody. Think about what happened in that Oregon game. Like, we genuinely walked in and said, well, I don't know, this could be the week, low-scoring game. Maybe they trip them up. Can't beat a team twice. And we were sitting there in the fourth quarter saying, why are you still playing your quarterback? This level of sheer dominance, if it was being accomplished by a team wearing an Alabama jersey, would be the single greatest story in sports. I think the fact that it's part of the biggest brand turnaround we've ever seen in the history of sports gives it even more weight. Like, I'm all in on Indiana.
You're welcome to congratulate me as an Indiana alum for all of my football program success. Go ahead.
It's amazing, Buck. You've never seen them lose in person. And that's really incredible. That's a streak. They should be paying you to go to games at this point. Like, Cuban should be calling you and saying, hey, I got the PJ fired up. Why don't you come on down to the game?
Yeah, the Cuban thing's cute. But, clearly I'm the good luck charm at this point for Indiana football. They will play in the national championship on Monday night, of which I will be in attendance for. Many thanks to some dear, close personal friends who made that possible. Now, I am fascinated to see how this game plays out before we talk about the NFL head coaching cycle, Fitzy, because Titans fans got mad at me. I was asked to make a list. I made a list, and I will rank these jobs for you and get your reaction here in just a second. But let's stick with the national championship for now. Indiana, depending on which sports book you look at, 8.5-point favorites or 7.5-point favorites from sportsbook to sportsbook. That is a big line against a team like Miami. And again, listen, for what Indiana's doing, maybe it's not a big enough line. I mean, they're just whipping the snot out of everybody so far. I think, though, that this game is more likely to look like the Big Ten championship game, 13-10, than it is this Oregon result or the Alabama 38-3.
I disagree. I think Indiana's going to roll in this by multiple touchdowns. And look, Miami left, 4 picks in that game that they should have had against Ole Miss. Not going to be able to do that. Fernando's not going to put the ball at risk for first-name basis with Fernando at this point. He's not going to put the ball at risk the way that Trinidad did at times in the course of that game. Also, Indiana just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They just don't beat themselves. Positionally, they're always in the right spot. Part of it is I think you've got older guys that have played a lot of college football that are being coached really, really well, but they just don't beat themselves. So all of a sudden I'm looking at this saying, okay, the path to a Miami victory is to run the football really, really well, which they're going to try to do, and then to make sure that Carson Beck stays on this version of a heater. I just don't know that is possible against this Indiana defense. I give Miami credit. They pushed the ball down the field a lot more in the semifinal than they had up to that point. I think that sends a little bit of a message, but no, I as good as Miami's defense is, there is no wiggle room for Miami's offense. I don't like that situation at all. Indiana's offense and the pressure that they put on everybody because they score points is going to make Carson Beck play a little outside of himself. We'll be reminded of exactly who Carson Beck is. This feels to me like a high-scoring affair that Indiana rolls by 17.
Yeah, but I was very confused by the way that Miami handled the end of the game or late in the game against Ole Miss, because in my mind, I said, you're running for as many yards as you want to run for. Just continue to hand the ball off. And yet Mario Cristobal, in what felt like could have been the Cristobal Pitt moment, kept putting the ball in Carson Beck's hands, and Carson Beck delivered. Like, I know there was drop picks all over the place and on both sides of this game. But Carson Beck has kind of met the moment every time he's been challenged throughout the course of this college football playoff. And to hear some of the stories coming out of Miami about how broken he was at the time that he arrived at Miami after experiencing everything that he did at Georgia, and how that can take a toll when you have that amount of money on you and that amount of pressure on you as somebody who's regarded as a top quarterback prospect that way. and I don't just say this to pay lip service to the opponent that Indiana will face this coming week, Fitzy. I think Carson Beck's done a hell of a job.
You're right. He has. And all of that is like, I was stunned in the last game because, frankly, I picked against Miami a couple of times. And, it's easy to keep picking against Miami. I've been wrong. They've proven me wrong. I'm willing to say all of that. I was surprised, like I said earlier, that they let Carson Beck push the ball down the field more. Coming into that game, he hadn't had a single completion where the ball traveled in the air more than 15 yards, right? So, like, that just shows you what they were doing versus what they did against Ole Miss. That's all true. But, like, now let's take a look at the other side of this. Do you believe that Ole Miss was as well coached in that game as Indiana's about to be? I don't. Do you think Ole Miss disguised their defense as well as Indiana does? I don't. Part of what Indiana's doing really well right now is they've got quarterbacks seeing ghosts before the ball's even been snapped. So part of that's their team speed, which I keep telling you, I think is wildly underrated. Indiana's a much faster defense than people want to give them credit for. Their closing speed really impresses me. But part of it's just the fact that they disguise what they're doing really well. So I hear you. I've seen consistent all year from Indiana's defense. That's not going to change. I got a quarterback in Carson Beck that's on a heater. All right, so if I make all things equal, which quarterback do I trust more that has played well in the playoffs? Fernando Mendoza or Carson Beck? My answer is Fernando Mendoza.
8 touchdowns, 5 incompletions so far in the playoff for Mendoza is the fact or stat that's making the rounds.
Against top 10 passing defenses. Yeah. Like, these aren't schmucks that he's playing. Like, this is incredible.
Unbelievable. Jason Fitz of Yahoo Sports with us. So as we pivot and look to these 8 jobs, Fitz, will there be 9, in your opinion?
I don't look, I say no. I also loudly said, there's no way the Ravens fire Harbaugh. Here's my thing with the Steelers. I would say to everybody, there's a couple pieces of nuance to this. One, if the Steelers fire Tomlin, let's remember also, they don't have a quarterback and they don't have a clear path to a quarterback. I think they picked 21st in the draft. And we've talked about the fact that Malik Willis might be the best name available in the free agency class. So guess what, Steelers fans? You're about to not have a quarterback. And I believe that roster, particularly the defense, overpaid this year. But that roster as a whole, that's a 6-win football team. So Tomlin got them to 10 wins. Like, if you really want a full reset, congratulations, you're about to get one. And that quarterback part of this conversation is important to me when we have the context to Tomlin, because Big Ben retired in 22. It feels like it's been longer than that, but it's 22. They tried with Kenny Pickett that draft to draft the best available quarterback. Turns out that was a terrible draft class. Since then, they haven't been in proximity of any of these quarterbacks other than Jackson Dart every single year. And they already had Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not going to fault the team for deciding Aaron Rodgers versus Jackson Dart was the right solution. Yeah, you could say maybe they should have signed Sam Darnold or they should have signed Baker Mayfield when they had the chance, all of these other names. But those guys are like, take it. They work with a very particular set of skills with a very particular offense. So I just think Steelers fans are in for a real awakening if they decide to fire Tomlin and they suddenly realize that the roster's not as good as they think it is. They don't have a clear path to a quarterback. They don't have a bunch of money to sit around to reinvent their roster anyway. I think the Steelers, objectively, if it becomes open, is one of the worst jobs on the market.
Yes.
Robert,
it's been a while since we heard from Liam.
Liam Neeson, we dusted him off just to
there we go.
Throw some additional dirt on the Steelers' grave on behalf of Robert Walsh. And I agree with you. I don't think it would be a very well-regarded job because of all the different situations. I mean, it's the price of being good but not good enough in the NFL, and Steelers fans are clearly frustrated with that idea. All right, Fitzy, you ready for my NFL head coaching openings?
Yes.
Ranked. All right.
Okay. Baltimore's 1, right? Tell me Baltimore's 1.
Baltimore is 1. Clearly and obviously, Baltimore 1.
Perfect list so far.
Okay, very good. Giants 2. Falcons 3. Your beloved Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders 4. Mm-hmm. Titans 5. Browns 6. Cardinals 7. Dolphins 8. What is the biggest issue with that list?
Weirdly, I might have the Browns a little bit higher on that list. They do have, of all of the teams that you've mentioned, they have maybe the best unit with their defense, right? So they still have a very good defense. They don't have a path to a quarterback either, though. That's the hard part. Like, so much of this to me is about a path to a quarterback. So I don't think your list is terrible. I'm sure Titans fans hate being below the Raiders. I get that. And I understand that. I think that's a little bit like what's your favorite flavor of ice cream? Like both of these owners suck. So there's no two ways about that. Both teams have about $105 million in available cap space. That's not a big difference. One team has Max Crosby. The other team has Jeffrey Simmons. So that's kind of a push. One team has Cam Ward and the other is likely going to have Fernando Mendoza. So I guess it depends on how you feel about the quarterbacks. The reason I would put the Raiders slightly higher is because they also have Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers. And I'm not sure Ashton's going to be great, but Brock Bowers certainly is. So when everybody says they don't have a wide receiver, you're right. But they also have one of the better tight end rooms in the NFL with Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. So I think there's enough talent there, but I think both of those jobs are just like, look, we're picking between the bad and bad.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Like this is like picking between two C- horror movies that never made it to the theaters. Like you can learn to love them if you're super into horror movies like I am, but neither of them is going to be a blockbuster. So I really don't have a problem with your list. I think the Falcons are a little overhyped right now because they have I don't believe in Michael Penix being able to stay healthy. Kirk Cousins costs too much money. So they just don't have a clear. They're kind of like the Steelers to me. They're not going to be bad enough to get a quarterback, and they're not going to be good enough to win without one. So I don't love the Falcons shot, but I don't hate your list overall.
Well, Titans fans do because they think that the Raiders are, the hellscape of the NFL. And I had one NFL staffer that's been has worked for the Raiders text me and say, basically, I've been in Raiderland. No, like it's not a better job than the Titans were. But like every piece of evidence that is presented to me by Titans fans as to why this is a good job, and by the way, correct, like factually accurate evidence, Cam Ward, Jeffrey Simmons, Mike Borgonzi, no state income tax, all these things are fair, but like they're ignoring that the Raiders are basically the exact same thing. The only difference is one had the number 1 overall pick at quarterback last year. He's played a full season. The other will have the number 1 overall pick at quarterback this year. I think Cam Ward's offensive line is better. I think assuming it's Mendoza, I think Mendoza's skill guys are better. They're basically a push. I just happen to know more about the Titans, and I do knock them for that because I know more about them.
Yeah, look, a couple of things on this. No state income tax is also the case in Nevada. And by the way, no state income tax is what all of us, myself included, this is what we say when we're fans of terrible teams trying to justify why people want to come play. The reality of it is I've talked to guys that have played in New York, and let's remember that every time you play in the away stadium, you have to pay the taxes to that stadium anyway. Jock tax is absolutely horrible in certain states. But what do people tell you in New York? Like, it's factored into the contract. More often than not, you either find the earning opportunities or your agent finds the extra money to factor in the taxes. When we all sit here and say, our favorite team stinks, but free agents want to come here because there's no state income tax. Also, many free agents don't even claim the city that they play in as the state that they live in. So, there's wild ways to work around taxes. If your argument, I've seen many Titans fans say, new stadium. I have literally never in my professional career ever, doing this a decade professionally, I've never talked to a single coach that said, you know what? I love that stadium. I'm going to go play that. Like, that just doesn't.
It's a nice thing. Like the Raiders have a new stadium too. I was just there. Nobody's in it. Like whoever is coaching on the Titans sideline is going to be surrounded by Chiefs fans every time they play here. It's the same thing. It's a lipstick on a pig.
Yeah, and practice facilities and training facilities and the amount the owner's willing to spend on that stuff matters much more to people in the business. And the practice facilities for the Titans have not been an issue league-wide in perception that makes people say, oh, I won't go play there. So I don't buy that part of it. Like a lot of this is Cam versus Fernando. Like if you believe Cam's a better quarterback than Fernando, then you take the Titans job. Yeah, I have no problem with that. If you believe Fernando's a better quarterback than Cam, then you probably prefer the Raiders job. And also, like, for everybody listening that thinks they've got the answer to that figured out, I would just remind you that after 1 year, we were convinced C.J. Stroud was going to be an all-time great in this league. Like, we have no idea. The real, I said this on Twitter about Fernando. The real answer at the quarterback position is nobody knows. Nobody knows year one. Nobody really knows year two. And by year three, you think you probably got a pretty good idea. But, like, nobody really knows. And so it's just important to lay that out to everybody, because if you're certain that is an absolute truth that Cam Ward is the answer, you're a liar. If you're certain that it's the absolute truth that Cam Ward is not the answer, you're a liar. None of us know yet. And I know that makes for really bad radio. It's our job to come out and have the take. But the fact is, if Cam Ward gets really good coaching around him and the right mentors and the right people to help him, I think he can be a pretty good quarterback in this league. If Fernando Mendoza gets the right coaches around him and the right system and the right things, I think he can be a pretty good NFL quarterback. Outside of that, are either of those teams willing and capable of doing that? Hell, we haven't seen it for years. So who knows?
Fitz, where are you on the Giants job right now with the Joe Shane of it all, Jackson Dart with some of the upside, but the red flags that have come with that as well? Are the Giants one of the tougher jobs to pin down here when it comes to the attractive versus unattractive nature of it?
No, I think the Giants are a sexy job for a lot of people. The other part of it is their defensive line. Like, they got studs. They have absolute playmakers. I don't know why the Giants got so bad. Plus, let's buy into injury recovery. I'm not sure that I'm willing to make Cam a world beater, but Malik certainly is. So, like, they have stars at skill position. They've seen enough from Jackson Dart to maybe think that they've got a pretty good quarterback in this league. So, yeah, I think the Giants is pretty appealing. Also, the NFC East is so wildly up and down. Like, are we really scared of Washington? Like, a year ago, everybody thought Washington was, everything. Now we're not scared of Washington. Dallas can never really figure out a way to put together a team. The Eagles' offense looks broken. So you can go, and I think you can win in New York. And it's also New York. Like, I think this comes down to some part of this has come down to what people prefer. Like, do you love living in New York and the chaos that comes with living in New York and being on that level of platform? Some coaches are going to say yes to that, and they'll prefer that. So I think the Giants are a very, very good job. I also think, same breath, Joe Shane should never have kept his job, and I'm not sure he's not an incompetent GM. So I wouldn't say anything. Remember, Liam Cohen, in order to take the Jacksonville job, said, I'll only take it if I get to pick the GM, long after we'd heard the GM was safe. I would just tell everybody, if we think that Harbaugh's taking the Giants job, for example, don't sleep on Harbaugh coming in and saying, I'm taking it, but I'm not taking Joe Shane. He could still get fired.
Jason Fitz, Yahoo Sports Daily, weekdays, Saturday evenings from 5 to 7 p.m. Central Time with me on Fox Sports Radio. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. Have a great week, everybody.
See you Saturday. That is Jason Fitz with us on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've got some Titans search, head coaching search updates for you next.
Lunchtime, that means it's about that time for Hattie B's, for you to visit any one of their 7 Middle Tennessee locations on your lunch break today, or go online, HattieB.com. Download the Hattie B's app. You get a free dessert just by doing so. Only so many football weekends remain. This is one of the last ones. Divisional round in the NFL playoffs Saturday and Sunday. National championship game in Miami on Monday. Get yourself a big old bucket of hot chicken. Hot or not, you decide, grilled or fried. There are healthy options like the Southern salads. In that regard, I have 2 words: cornbread croutons. Try them out. Thank me later, and let Hattie B's fuel your watch party this weekend as we are running out of weekends just like it. Again, HattieB.com, or you can walk in to any one of their 7 Middle Tennessee locations and make your football watch party hot with Hattie B's.
How many coaching candidates is too many? Does a limit exist as far as people that you want the Titans to interview? Because right now, the count is currently 19. That's a lot. And listen, if you want an exhaustive search, by God, you're getting one. Now, there are some that are being done virtually. Apparently, John Harbaugh has spoken on the phone with several teams without doing in-person interviews. The Falcons put out a graphic acting like they had interviewed John Harbaugh. Apparently, it was like a 5-minute phone conversation. The NFL insiders had to correct the Falcons on that graphic that they put out.
Did we get any additional context to someone from the Mara family going to John Harbaugh's house to meet with him? Did you guys see that report?
I have not seen that.
Okay, let me do some digging and I'll get you the exact report.
So, right now, the latest additions to the Titans interviewee list are 2 former NFL head coaches, both of whom were fired this year, one in season and one at the end of the season. Jonathan Gannon of the Arizona Cardinals is going to interview for the Titans job, and Brian Daboll is going to interview for the Titans job. So that brings the grand total to 19 as of today. You have Jeff Hafley and Jesse Minter, according to multiple reports, interviewing with the Titans today. Arthur Smith and Mike McDaniel tomorrow. The rest of the week right now, Brian Daboll Friday, Mike McCarthy Saturday, Gannon and Saleh on Sunday. So I'll just read you the full list of names because it's outrageous. Matt Nagy, Vance Joseph, Steve Spagnuolo, Lou Anarumo, Raheem Morris, Kevin Stefanski, Jason Garrett, Jeff Hafley, Arthur Smith, Robert Saleh, Cliff Kingsbury, Jesse Minter, Chris Shula, John Harbaugh at some point, Mike McCarthy, Mike McDaniel, Jonathan Gannon, Brian Daboll. The only one not scheduled for a formal interview is Harbaugh. So,
you're saying the only one
not scheduled for a formal interview with the Titans is Harbaugh.
Okay.
And perhaps Harbaugh prefers informal meetings because this report from Yahoo Sports via Ian O'Connor. John Harbaugh had lunch Sunday with Giants executive Chris Mara, who is the brother of John Mara, and hosted an informal meeting. Harbaugh is, quote, very interested in the Giants' job, people on both sides say. So they had went to John Harbaugh's house to have this meeting.
Okay.
Then you had the Falcons putting out a press release that they have completed an interview.
Did you not just listen to the way we started the segment? Robert.
Paying attention. I was eating my lunch.
Robert.
Oh, did Robert say it? No. Oh, well, if Robert
the fact
didn't
that you
say
don't know which one of us said it is even more egregious.
Well, if Robert didn't say it.
Well, it's also
it's not like you listen to either of us very thoroughly, especially when there's taco salad or whatever the hell that is in front of you.
Oh, it was so good. Also being reported by the Falcons that they have completed an interview with John Harbaugh, which is kind of tough because they just passed the phone off to Matt Ryan and they had a little quick conversation. Like,
I hate you both.
What are we doing?
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys missed this, but the Falcons put out a press release.
The one in Atlanta?
The team in Atlanta.
Okay, I just saw this report that they scheduled an in-person, impromptu, semi-serious meeting with someone named John Haribo.
Like the little gummy bears, like Haribo?
I guess. I'm assuming.
Oh, there's some gummy bears right there on that table.
What?
Oh, wait, they're gone.
Oh, someone has snacked
No way.
them.
I was going to say, no way they lasted around you two vultures. Anyway, Tom Pelissero reporting that 2 Indianapolis defensive backs have been suspended for gambling.
This reporting
Again?
from Connor Hughes.
Are you? Oh, I'm an idiot. Dang it. I really fell for that.
Are you kidding me?
I'm an idiot. I really
That
fell
joke
for
is
that.
5 years old.
I really, as soon as I said really again, I was like, oh, Dad.
I thought you were doing a bit.
No.
Oh, man.
Isaiah Rodgers somehow being suspended for gambling once again.
I was
Double
mad
Jeopardy?
at you. I was mad at you, and now I'm delighted.
Double Jeopardy? Did
Really?
he just do this?
What an offseason for
Ashton
Indianapolis.
Genty wears jeans under his pants?
Well, by the way, when is that Titans cornerback coming back? What's his name?
Anyway.
But this reporting from Connor Hughes of SNY that coaching candidates around the league believe Harbaugh is down to Giants Falcons, like there's finalists with John Harbaugh. Like, where does that stuff come from? Like, this was reported yesterday.
The same place that Garofalo stuff comes from, that sources are saying, sources close to Harbaugh, saying that the stadium is an appealing factor for him. It's just kind of Who was close to him? His assistant, the guy that drove him in the Uber? Like, what are we talking about here?
Has he even had a conversation with anyone and this gets reported? Oh, here are the finalists.
He's had phone calls with teams. Yes, he has had phone calls with teams. That much we do definitively know. We have no idea what he thinks directly. People are assigning, like, somebody DM'd me on Instagram the other day, or yesterday, and said they were listening to 3HL. And Brent was reading the Mike Garafolo tweet, which said that, firmly in the mix.
That he expects he cites all of the attractive notions of the job, high draft pick, cap space, Cam Ward. He says, not saying he's going to Tennessee, just that for now, I expect the Titans to be firmly in the mix for Harbaugh.
So a Titans fan, a listener DM'd me on Instagram and said, see, John Harbaugh said he likes our job. Like hearing Brent read the tweet as if it was a direct quote from John Harbaugh. So you have fans assigning whatever value they want to whatever tweets are out there. And listen, I don't know Connor Hughes in New York. Maybe he has more thorough connections than somebody else who's tweeting the same thing, like finalists or whatever. The Harbaugh Giants thing has been out there from the jump. Yes?
It was the first team that was associated with him.
So if you have to ask, and if you're telling me that a New York local reporter or television person or whatever he is, who does he work for, Connor Hughes?
SNY.
Okay, so local TV guy in New York, huge market, assuming that the local TV people have connections with the Giants organization. I'm assuming that the Giants are saying to every local person that will listen to them, yeah, John Harbaugh really likes our job. Now, it's not my job to source guess, but like if you made me source guess, who benefits from that information being out there? The Giants. How do you soothe the Giants fan base who's very upset with you for the fact that Joe Shane is still there? Oh, I could get John Harbaugh and I could force Joe Shane out and I could get a new GM on top of getting John Harbaugh?
There are two sides to that coin, right? Like, yes, it aids in your credibility. See, we're an attractive job. He wants us. But maybe it appeases your fan base for the moment. And then what happens if you don't get John Harbaugh? Right?
Oh, sure.
Like what happens when you tout John Harbaugh if you're the Giants?
But like
they're the favorite, and then you turn around and you hire, I don't even know the other main names that they've talked to, Jesse Minter, whoever.
Completely fair point.
Then people melt out because they didn't get John Harbaugh.
The other part of this is you have to assume that the New York Giants organization has some level of hubris. Right?
Of course.
That they think that they are not going to, if they want John Harbaugh or Mike McCarthy or whoever the top candidate at the particular time is, they are going to be damned before they lose top candidate X to the Tennessee Titans or to the Arizona Cardinals or something like that. Like, that, I assume that people with the Giants organization are looking around and being like, we're the best job. It's not even close. We're the best job. We're New York.
Yeah.
Again, you can source guess if you want to. I don't think it's a productive exercise, but I do think it's worth paying attention to the information, who's putting out the information, and who benefits from the information being out there. It's not that hard to draw the connections.
There is some news. The Falcons put out in a press release yesterday that they have conducted an interview with one John Harbaugh. So there's that.
Neither of us were paying attention.
He was, yeah. How realistic is Harbaugh to the Titans? Let's do that next. It is 12 o'clock. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Lucas Panzica. The Texans stifled the Steelers last night, holding them to less than 200 yards of offense and winning 30-6. That's a 10th straight win for Houston. They move on to the divisional round of the playoffs, where they will visit New England this coming weekend. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, the loss marks a 7th straight postseason loss for Mike Tomlin. The Titans coaching search continues. Mike Garafolo reported yesterday he expects the Titans to be in the mix for former Ravens coach John Harbaugh. Jordan Schultz also reported today that the Titans will talk to former Giants coach Brian Daboll. Today, the Titans are interviewing Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter and Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. College basketball tonight, Tennessee returns home hosting Texas A&M. Tip-off at 6 p.m. Vol Network coverage on The Zone begins at 5:30. And the Nashville Predators' 4-game homestand ends as they host the Oilers. Puck drop is at 7. For all your foundation repairs and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So until there's news out of Pittsburgh, one way or the other, John Harbaugh is the biggest name on the head coaching carousel. Now, there are varying reports, some from New York, some from Atlanta, some nationally. Very little out of Tennessee, anything regarding John Harbaugh one way or the other. And in fact, do you notice that they're doing this coaching search differently than they've done in years past? They're not announcing candidates. A lot of teams are announcing candidates as the interviews are individually completed. Titans are just doing them in bulk. So we got 7 that were, and they didn't even email them to the media the way that they've previously done local media. They just had Jimmy put out and that's, it's fine, as there's their right to do that. They just had Jimmy put out a piece on Tennessee Titans online or TennesseeTitans.com saying that the Titans have talked to these 7 candidates. Here's their bios. So 7 down. Theoretically, 12 more to account for at this point in time. And I read you the list earlier. It's extensive. That's a you want an extensive search in this particular situation. But they have, at least, it seems, not directly, and maybe not even intentionally, ruled out a specific kind of candidate that we have identified as
head coaching experience.
First-time head coach that is offensive background.
Of which Clint Kubiak really is
He's really the
only one in this cycle, which is weird, right? Usually there's multiple guys of that vein in that category. The rising offensive minds in the NFL that have yet to be a head coach.
The only other guy, which I believe he got an interview with Cleveland, it was announced today, was Jaguars OC Grant Udinski, who's only 30 years old.
Wow.
He's
right. 30.
Super young. Yeah, Lucas is the same age as a head coaching candidate. You're officially old. Welcome to the club.
I'm older than him by like a few months.
Yeah, but how fat is his ass?
Well, and also, how much more physically broken down are you than your average 30-year-old? Because, brother, you got the problems of a 65-year-old.
I don't know. I woke up this weekend where I slept weird. My leg was hanging off the bed, and my knee was messed up for the rest of the day.
Because you slept weird?
What? Because my leg was dangling off the daggum bed. So I woke up and couldn't even move my knee. I had to get Cheyenne to backpack carry me everywhere.
Who's the youngest NFL coach ever?
Head coach?
Head coach.
I think it was Mike McDonald.
McVay, right? McVay was younger than McDonald. McDonald was 36.
McDonald, when he got hired, was the youngest coach in NFL history.
Are you sure he was younger than McVay?
We'll find out.
Was McVay younger than Lane? I think Lane might have been 31 when he became the Raiders coach.
It's probably a push between McVay and Lane then at that point in time. Somebody look that up, McVay, Lane, and then Mike McDonald. What do you got, Robert? Or do you have something?
I don't know. This is probably
Google
wrong.
AI?
Yeah, it's
I
probably
need you
wrong.
to stop using
It says
that.
Sean McVay.
McVay was 30 and 11 months. He was barely older than Lane was.
Okay.
30 is crazy.
So I'm right and Robert's wrong.
I think that's wrong.
Okay, very
I think we need to see some documentation.
But the point here is,
show the birth certificate.
we mentioned the Garafolo report that the Titans are expected to be firmly in the mix. He followed it up, too. He replied to his own tweet, and he said, yes, I'm aware the Giants have all that in a bag of chips as well. Clearly,
Giants fans
fending off
roasting
Giants
him.
fans. He said, we've covered that here. They are attractive as well, just making it clear the Titans appear to be a player as well. Going to be a long week, deep breaths.
You know how that reads to me? That reads to me that people with, again, source guessing, but like, who does it benefit to have that information out there? Benefits the Titans to look like they're firmly in the mix for John Harbaugh's services at whatever point John Harbaugh starts to seriously interview for their services. I'm sure, and I wouldn't pretend to get, I could take some pretty accurate guesses if I wanted to on who would put that information in Mike Garafolo's lap to put out there to the public. But I'm sure people with the Titans aren't. No, I swear to God, we're in the mix for John Harbaugh. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not, by the way.
I was going to say, is it so crazy?
No. It's not. It's not so crazy. Of the four, I would put it squarely fourth. But again, full disclosure, I do absolutely ding them for being them. Because of their pattern of behavior these last 4 years, I absolutely ding them for being them. If I was in New York, I would do the same. If I was in Baltimore or wherever any of these jobs were opening, having more information, knowing too much about a situation can lead you to bias. I will acknowledge that I do have that bias. But it doesn't mean that Mike Borgonzi and his search committee and all the things that they have going right for them right now don't make this thing attractive enough. There are good things about this job, absolutely. Do the good things outweigh the erraticism of ownership?
I almost always lean towards yes, because coaches take these jobs when they believe they have the tools to succeed in these jobs. I think for them, it mitigates any sort of red flag that could come from the top. Because as a coach, you believe you are going to come in and have success with your plan to use the tools at your disposal.
Or it doesn't mitigate any red flag from up top, especially when the red flag from up top is 4 people fired in the last 4 years.
Brian Callahan was fired. Yes, Brian Callahan also won 3 out of, what was it? 20... But you get the point.
I think he was 3-24.
Yeah. Like the coaches, Mike Vrabel was fired. Yes, Mike Vrabel was fired after back-to-back losing seasons and
was
going
like 6
and 18 or something.
Like
yeah,
that,
in his last
18, yeah.
24, whatever the number was.
For sure.
Like, so I do think that.
But again, it's not about, because she was right. She was right to fire Brian Callahan. You can debate the Vrabel thing. She was right to fire Brian Callahan. But again, what you're citing there is the plan. Yes, and the plan was not to fire Brian Callahan. Now, it doesn't mean that she can't. It is absolutely her right to divert from the plan and make a change based on what she sees in front of her.
Yeah.
And her decision was the correct one. Cam Ward and the Tennessee Titans were a markedly improved team for not being coached by Brian Callahan. Yeah. She was right, but she didn't stick to the plan that she had her emissaries preaching to us and anybody that would hear the entire way through. Sure. That is something that has to be taken into consideration. Does it outweigh Cam Ward, cap space, Jeff Simmons, Mike Borgonzi? No, probably not. I would argue not. But it is something to keep in the back of your mind that you may have a plan and she may not stick to the plan depending on how she feels that day, as is the case for any owner. You could say that of any owner.
Yeah, for sure. Like, was it the plan for Pete Carroll to go one and done
I was just
in Vegas?
Say,
was it the plan for Baltimore?
That's what I'm saying. Like, Baltimore feels like Bisciotti just kind of got a wild hair a little bit and said, you know what, enough. And maybe he's right. Like, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that you kind of always have that thing looming in the background.
But I think you have that in almost any organization.
Yeah, I would say that's fair.
Like, yeah, there is always, the plan is always to win. And then when you don't win, plan's kind of shot at that point.
Sure, for sure. So, all that to say, how realistic, so out of 100% chance, what percentage chance do you give the Titans to land John Harbaugh? What, do you see something? Or are you looking at food?
Don't worry about it.
Your mouth was agape. Which... Answer the question. What are you looking at?
Don't worry. I'll tell you.
Love that.
I'll tell you in the break. I'll tell you in the break.
It was food.
It was food.
It was.
What kind of recipe?
It wasn't food.
What kind of recipe?
Just trust me. I'll tell you in the break.
Okay, fine. So, if I was to guess a percentage chance that they would land John Harbaugh, and let's just take it out of the 4, right? The 4 that are currently being rumored to being more attractive than the other 4. So it's Titans, in no particular order. Titans, Dolphins, Giants, Falcons. Those 4. Do we give them equally a 25% chance to land John Harbaugh? I would say no.
I think the money has to be a factor too, right? Like John Harbaugh is going to be one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL now.
And should be.
Yeah. And absolutely should be right up there with his brother.
Yes.
That's crazy that the two Harbaughs. What was he making, Robert? I mean, I guess you don't.
I don't think it's public,
Yeah,
but I
it's
think
not.
it was
It's not public.
rumored to be around $17 to $18 million.
That sounds right.
He was one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL.
Jim, I think, has been reported at 16
That sounds right.
in that range.
So, ballpark, let's just say between $15 and $18 million is the going rate for a coach at this point in time.
For a coach with that
A
pedigree.
coach with that resume.
Yeah.
An established coach, the kind of coach that Mike Borgonzi is basically messaging that he wants.
Yeah, Jeff Halfley ain't going to be making $15 million a year.
I would say not. And sure as hell not here. Like, a first-time head coach is not making that money here.
He might be making Jeff half of that, half Lee of that. Be cool with $8 million for
It's
Jeff
your most
Halfley.
meaningful conversation or contribution to the noon hour.
I don't. Well, we just got here.
But regardless of where the messaging has come from, Tom Pelissero, by the way, was on NFL Network minutes ago talking about don't count out the Tennessee Titans for John Harbaugh.
That screams to me that somebody with the Tennessee Titans is saying, don't count us out.
They continue to be
Which
named
is
here,
fine.
though.
They can do that.
Did we expect at this stage for the Titans to be brought up as much as they've been brought up around John Harbaugh?
Sure.
I would say no.
Oh, hell yes.
I mean, the second that news drops, you're the first to. I don't, Titans fans, you're not getting John Harbaugh.
Lucas.
Don't even consider it.
The minute that Adam Schefter did a 20-minute diatribe on why the Titans are such an attractive job, I am sitting there looking at that as like, all right, who sent him the bullet points? Like,
Sure.
This is messaging to, it's not, it's a strategy of also selling. They are trying to sell themselves.
Sure, absolutely.
And by a part of selling themselves, which, by the way, I fault them zero for.
So you're saying the Titans have no chance to land
No,
John
I'm
Harbaugh?
not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the outsized, what you are citing, the outsized number of times that the Titans have been brought up means to me that somebody, rightfully so, is doing their job in trying to push the Tennessee Titans as an attractive landing space, while also John Harbaugh may think, yeah, okay, interested. I'll come check it out. I'll get on the phone with you. But
Which is not something that I think that certainly you would not have said would have been a thing a week ago when we saw this news
not
drop.
given 8 or I guess 7 different
I mean,
options.
you
No.
were very quick to tell Titans fans, like, hey, you ain't getting John Harbaugh. You don't even.
Well, no, that was
don't even
Robert. Robert
consider it.
pointed and laughed at them and said, I'm just happy that he's going somewhere that he won't have more success than me. And then I pointed out very quickly, no, that's my job to tell them that their job is not good enough for John Harbaugh. Anyway, my point is, do we give them an equal percentage chance? Who has the greatest percentage chance of those 4 to land John Harbaugh? Giants for me.
Again, it's so much about what he wants. It's almost an impossible question to answer. Like, does he want a team that is more ready-made, that is a piece or two away from instant competitiveness, which Atlanta absolutely falls under that category. As big of a question mark as quarterback is, they don't have a first-round draft pick. It's a bad cap space situation. There's obviously talent there, and it is a weak division unless, Bryce Young takes another big leap or Tyler Shuck takes a big leap next year. By the way, I don't think, did we mention it, that Bryce Young is the Panthers are taking his 5th-year option?
No, we did not.
In Carolina?
Oh, well, we did, but in the break.
Yeah. So what does he want? Does he want the blank canvas? Or does he want to walk into a situation where a lot of that work has already been done and he wants to close that gap?
I can only answer that. We can't answer that question from his perspective.
Which
right?
is why it's so hard to play this game.
Well, I don't think it's that hard because you can. I think there are some assumptions that are fair to make. He's older. He's 62. He's been a part of a winning, stable organization for his entire career. I'm assuming that he doesn't want to have to, grassroots this thing and, when he's 66, be competing for the top of the AFC South or the NFC East. And I'm not just doing this because of Titans and like more work to do there. I'm saying that there's multiple jobs that are like this. Titans are obviously the one that we're talking about locally. If you're talking about more ready to go than any of them, it's Atlanta. 615-737-1045. And for what it's worth, I would give both of them a better percentage chance just based off the idea that a 62-year-old coach would want a more ready-made situation. And what does he have in Atlanta and New York that he would not have in Tennessee? He would have more flexibility to kind of remake some of the more important things. It's not, he can help remake more of the roster here. In New York and Atlanta, he can remake the front office if he wants to, and then, by extension, remake the roster. So it's a higher level of control in both of those places than he would be initially granted here, whether or not you think he earns it or deserves it. We can take your phone calls on this coming up next. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone.
So at this point, there are still 8 open jobs in the NFL. All eyes are on Pittsburgh. There has been no movement, it would seem, on Mike Tomlin after that uninspiring playoff exit, a 7th straight playoff loss last night to Houston. So with 8 jobs open, Buck ranked the 8 jobs, and everybody responded to it in very measured fashion, as is typically the case. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, 615-737-1045. So before we have Buck explain himself on why he ranked the Titans behind the Las Vegas Raiders, let's go to the phones with Darrington up first in Nashville. Hey, Darrington.
What's happening, beautiful people?
Oh, my God.
Oh, not a good start.
Whoa.
Listen, question real quick. So first I was going to ask about two bums about being released, but now you done got me interested. So it was reported by John Harbaugh's agent that it was on Nightcap, and then Pat McAfee confirmed it, that John is looking for $20 million a year, and he wants control of the roster of the 53. How does that work with Berganzi? Does he relinquish any power? And are they willing to pay $20 million? And then it's also reported that the Baltimore Ravens said that the coach did not relate to young players. So how does that translate with a young quarterback? And Buck, about a month and a half ago, I had asked you what was Will Levis' stock like. What do you think his stock like will be going into this next year? Because I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of teams that could use a quarterback. All right, now I go back to being a professional listener and let y'all do your professional job.
Thank you, Darrington. Robert, you want to take that second part? Harbaugh, any indication that Harbaugh was struggling to relate to young players? Do you think that's credibly reported?
No, and we noted this, I think it was last week. Jeff Zaribak came on, and he has a podcast in Baltimore called The Collective, where he noted he talked to a number of players, and not one of those players thought that Harbaugh had lost the locker room. And I believe Adam Schefter went on the Pat McAfee show and noted that why is Isaiah Likely and Zay Flowers and all these collective of players calling him, crying, saying, had a great time with you being the coach, all that stuff. So I don't think that message was necessarily portrayed correctly, that he had lost the locker room.
Okay, to the first part of the question, could they pay him $20 million?
Which was what Tony Grossi reported, by the way, out of Cleveland.
Tony Grossi put out there that he had talked to league insiders who were speculating on John Harbaugh's list of demands. I haven't seen the nightcap clip with Shannon Sharp and Ochocinco. And I have not seen the McAfee thing. So we'll just go off the Grossi thing and say, all right, $20 million roster control. Unless they're going to reorganize their organization again after having just done it, 2 weeks ago? I don't think that he's going to have roster control here. Could they pay him $20 million? Sure. Would that be the most they've ever paid a head coach? I don't know that exactly. I would be willing to guess it has to be close. I don't know what Mike would
have to be.
Well, Mike got an extension. So I don't think he was making $20 million a year. I bet he was.
Is there a single coach making $20 million a year? I mean, we don't know.
Belichick was reported to have made north of 20.
Okay,
and I think McVay has a similar contract.
If for no other reason to keep him off television,
and he's super handsome.
Yes, also that. I bet Shanahan's well compensated too. Again, we're guessing, but I would speculate that would be the most the Tennessee Titans Houston Oilers organization has ever paid for a coach in that situation. Could they do it? Theoretically, you'd have to have the cash on hand. It's not like salary cap monopoly money. You'd have to have that ready to go. So I think this is not viewed as an overwhelmingly cash flush organization, but that's also a big part of the stadium thing. Like, you want to talk about positives of the stadium? That stadium is going to generate buku revenue. Like, that immediately adds a B to her net worth as soon as they break ground on that bad boy. And it's going to, and I know the Titans had the biggest dip in attendance of any NFL team this year, as reported by Front Office Sports and the Nashville Business Journal. But they'll make up for it in Chris Stapleton concerts and Beyonce shows and WrestleMania and all these different things that they will sell tickets for, that she will see a good percentage of revenue from, that will theoretically be reinvested back into the organization.
Is there a more...
What was the third part? Oh, Levis.
Oh, Levis's stock.
I mean, I read you the list of free agent quarterback names. I still think if you move him, he gets moved for a 7th because he hasn't played football. And I mean, Mike Borgonzi was asked, a week ago today at his press conference whether Will Levis was healthy. He declined whether to say whether he was healthy or not. He said he's doing well.
Yeah, he's been in contact with them.
Yeah, he's been in California all year, Levis. So, I mean, 7th round pick as far as I'm concerned.
Is there a more baseless thing that people throw out there than he lost the locker room? It's like the first thing to get out there, right? That fans want to throw out, that after watching a game. It's clear he's lost the locker room. When, like, most of the time, I think bad teams are just bad. You don't have to have lost the locker room to be losing games. Some coaches do. Josh McDaniels absolutely lost the Vegas locker room. They rejoiced when he left, but it is funny how quickly people jump to that.
And I don't think, and I'm interested how you guys look at this, I also don't think that message gone stale and lost the locker room are the same thing.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think it can be true that John Harbaugh's message went stale, but he also still had the ear of the captains and the people of importance on the Ravens team.
I wonder if you could say something similar about Mike Tomlin, right? Maybe it's run its course. The ceiling feels significantly lower. The floor is as high as it's always been, but the ceiling feels lower. It doesn't mean that the guys in that locker room wouldn't die for Mike Tomlin.
Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh, like all established, good, objectively coaches who may have just run their course in their various previous stops.
John is up next to talk about Harbaugh. Is this John Harbaugh? Hello, John. Oh, the silence is suspicious.
You sniffed him out too quickly. I think if you wouldn't have said anything,
I scared him off.
We could have had a direct.
You just not have the right button pressed back there.
Hold on, I'm actually hearing now that he may be doing an interview in Atlanta, and he's on the other line currently.
Oh, I could have had an exclusive.
You ruined it.
What do you mean you could have had an exclusive?
Well, we would have shut your mic off.
I'm talking about the two of us. There are two other people. You could have had the exclusive.
Yeah, we would have shut your mic off. Robert and I would have had the exclusive.
Hey, John.
Oh, that's such a shame. Okay. All right. Well, John Harbaugh calls in to local. Don't do that. 8 jobs. You ranked them.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. Number 1, Baltimore. I think we can all agree as long as Lamar Jackson's in
Two-time
Baltimore.
MVP.
Yeah.
I don't care if he's tough to get a hold of in the offseason and you want to, because Robert was telling us during the commercial break that he is famously difficult to get a hold of, especially if you don't have representation that can contact you on the team's behalf. Maybe there's some things about the Lamar experience that aren't perfect, but he's still Lamar Jackson. Yeah. You still got Derrick Henry, Kyle Hamilton, all these different. They're one of the best drafting organizations in football.
Ready-made winner.
Ready-made winner. And, you know, I know they missed the playoffs this year, but I don't expect that they would be down bad for long.
All right. So this stretch is where people, I suppose, take issue because Cleveland, Arizona, Miami, rounding out your top 8, fine.
Yeah.
Giants 2, Falcons 3, Raiders 4, then Titans 5. Okay. Starting with the Giants. And this is not through the lens of John Harbaugh or any one candidate. Why to you are the Giants 3 spots better than the Titans in the ranking of 8 open jobs?
They have less work to do on their roster. And I think people genuinely look at I look at the Giants brand as being, if you make the Giants are a winner. They have not done a great amount of winning in quite some time. But they are they're 3-time Super Bowl champion? 2-time Super Bowl champion. Surely they have more than just the 2 Eli.
Yeah, Parcells.
Yeah, championship brand, New York market. You become one of the most famous coaches in America immediately. You have, I would say, an outsized level of impact. Whether you're John Harbaugh, Chris Shula, Jeff Hafley, or whomever, you, I think, immediately have the bigger stick over Joe Schoen, who I do not think is long for this world. So you would then also get the opportunity to have some level of involvement in reshaping your front office organization. I think that John Mara is also extremely patient. They went through a run where they were firing and hiring, Shermer and who are the other Giants coaches? Joe Judge.
McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo, right? They had a run of those, but nobody would have disagreed that all of those coaches should have been fired. They gave Brian Daboll a really good run, despite not having made the playoffs since, I think, his first year. Was that his first year that they made the playoffs in New York? Either way, I think the Giants are closer to being, I wouldn't say a finished product, but closer to legit competitive than are the 2 other teams that I rank below them, which are the Falcons and the Titans. Or Falcons, Raiders, Titans.
There are more pieces there that feel like they have higher upside and are already established in some cases, like a Dexter Lawrence. Malik Neighbors might be the most exciting young receiver on the rookie contract in the league.
Shane Bowen got fired because they pumped all kind of money into that, kind of money and investment, draft capital into that front, and they didn't get nearly the return on investment. They are looking to maximize what they have. And they have players, man. They've got players all over the place.
Yeah, Abdul Carter, who finished the season pretty strong, by the way. 4-time Super Bowl champ. Parcells won 2 with Belichick on his staff.
Yes.
But here's the thing, though. between when it comes down to, because the quarterback is a huge piece of the evaluation here. And
of course.
Jason Fitz said in the last hour, right? If you sit here and you say definitively about Cam Ward that he's the answer, you're a liar. If you say it the other way around, then you're a liar. Nobody knows.
Same for Dart.
Same for Dart, yes. But after 1 year, put yourself in the shoes of a head coaching candidate. Just when it comes to the two quarterbacks, who do you think you would be more drawn to? Because
Cam Ward.
Yeah, it's tough to ignore the stuff with Dart.
I don't like that he's obstinate. About
not putting his body on the line.
Yeah, like your job is to be out there. Your job is to be available. You directly put yourself in harm's way time and time again, and then told everybody, "No, that's my game." And by the way, he's right. Like if you watched him at Ole Miss, that is very much his game.
He wasn't as much of a runner though. It feels like that's been highlighted a lot more.
No, I'm sure the CTE bash bros between him and damn Scadaboo. I'm sure they fed off one another, and all of a sudden he's just launching himself into linebackers because that's what they do. Get out of here.
Because you know what it kind of reminds me of is Levis. Remember how long it took for Will Levis just to learn how to slide?
And even then,
it took like a calendar year.
I wouldn't say that I trust Dart as little as I trust Levis because I have a much larger sample size of Will Levis, but I do think that Dart has certain things that Levis didn't, but I do think that there's still the level of reckless abandon to his game that makes me nervous. And so if you gave me a quarterback situation in a vacuum, Dart or Cam, I would take Cam.
So if you're a coaching candidate, do you value more the quarterback that you believe has the higher upside? If it is Cam Ward, does that offset the Giants having a couple more parts and pieces that you can kind of hit the ground running with on both sides of the ball?
Not to me, because I think I think that you can find replacement level quarterback play. I'm watching C.J. Stroud go to the divisional round being god-awful because he's got a cheat code of a defense.
Okay. All right.
I think you can find replacement level quarterback play in a variety of different ways. I don't think there's just like you got to go Cam Ward or Jackson Dart. I think you can, hell, Jimmy Garoppolo went to a Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. So you have Giants at 2, and your stance is quarterbacks, not that important. All right. Falcons, the third-ranked opening. Very sound logic by you.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and rank your... Go ahead and rank your job.
That's not what we're doing here.
No. That's okay. We can do this if you want to.
I'd certainly put the Titans over the Raiders.
Why? They are the exact same thing.
I understand that.
Give me the one appreciable difference about the Raiders and the Titans.
They are a push for you, and your, I guess, proximity to the Titans has you knocking them for that.
Yes.
But if you want to talk about instability at the top and that sort of turnover that comes from the top, the Raiders have been more unstable for much longer than the Titans have. So I'm not sure about your logic there.
They are the exact same job. One has the number 1 overall pick at quarterback last year. This one will have the number 1 overall pick at quarterback this year.
So if they're the same job, why put the Titans behind the Raiders? And you cited ownership, but the Raiders have had a longer...
No, I cited proximity.
Oh, so you cited bias, essentially.
Yes, I told you that. I literally, again, you don't listen to the show, but I had this whole thing at the start of the show saying, listen, I have bias in this way because I know them way more.
Okay, all right. So your stance is Giants, second best job because quarterback's not that important. Titans, fifth best job because you are biased against the Titans.
Yes.
All right. I feel like we accomplished a lot here.
Very good.
615-737-1045 is the number. Chuck in Clarksville is next. Hey, Chuck.
Hey, guys. Just wanted to... you're talking about the $113 million in cap space. It's actually, to me, $152 million because they're going to get rid of Dan Moore. They're going to get rid of Jerry Sneed.
No, they are not getting rid of Dan Moore. Dan Moore is your left tackle for the future. There is dead money associated with Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed, Lloyd Cushenberry. They are not getting rid of Dan Moore. Dan Moore is your left tackle for at least the next year, if not longer.
So let's just go the other two.
No, I don't think we have to.
Yeah, Sneed... There is an out where they would take on a dead cap hit of over $8 million, as opposed to the cap hit if you were to stick around of $20 million.
Yeah. So, and by the way, there are savings on all of these players, right? Like L'Jarius Sneed's biggest cap hit is upcoming. Yes, it's this year.
No, his biggest cap hit was 2025 at 22.5. It goes down to 20 each of the next 4 years, just over 20. But yeah, their out is take on $8 million in dead money and cut ties. Obviously, there is an ongoing legal situation on top of that as well.
Sure. So And just to kind of go back to the Raiders-Titans things, I could honestly hear you on 4 or 5 or 5 or 4, however you wanted to flip-flop them, because I do think what you're saying is completely fair. And I had people who have, at different periods of their NFL careers, worked for the Raiders telling me, no, the Raiders is a worse job. But I also think, in the same way that I have a tendency to ding the Titans for being the Titans in their way of operation, I think that people who have worked for the Raiders would also look at that situation and be like, no, way worse. I lived it.
I'm so conflicted on this Falcons job.
I think it's a good job.
I feel like
Robert,
it's in
you're
the
with
middle.
me, right?
Yeah, I do think it's a good job. I just
Do you think it's objectively any higher or lower than third?
I think it is third, but if I was going to play devil's advocate, the offensive line that they've built, that the whole calling card was, look how many first-round picks, look how many good players are here. The Jake Matthews, the Caleb McGarrys are getting older, and their cap hits are staying high. So I think Jake Matthews is around 34 years old. I think around there is where you see athleticism start to drop off. So while the wide receiver and the running back, those are flashy toys, but the thing that made the job so good to me was the security of the offense. I think that can start to dwindle if they don't make the right picks to replace those guys.
And they don't have a first-round pick, obviously, this year. It's just it's how close they are to quarterback purgatory that would kind of scare me. Feels like they are
What is
right
quarterback?
there.
Who is currently, like, the Dolphins are quarterback purgatory?
Pittsburgh are the definition of quarterback purgatory.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Pittsburgh has a cleaner break. I think Pittsburgh's in a better situation than Miami.
I mean, in terms of your next answer at quarterback.
Sure, but Miami is stuck. He is an anchor,
Yeah.
and not in a good way. He is an anchor holding you back. He's not grounding you.
Arizona too, I guess, by that logic.
I think he's way easier to move than Tua is.
He's way easier to move because the way they handled this year with the soft benching, I'm using air quotes, but sticking with Jacoby Brissett. Kyler Murray's not healthy enough to play. But he probably was, and they just wanted to save face and value when it comes to his contract and negotiating with other teams.
So I think that people will immediately – the cap thing is not – it's not a small thing, right? New Orleans has been in cap hell for, I don't know, my entire adult lifetime.
Yeah. I mean, definitely since latter stage of the Peyton era.
Right, but you can maneuver. I try not to put – the cap matters. I'm not one of these people who thinks the cap is a myth or not real or whatever. But I think that the cap is far more maneuverable for people who actually do the job of – this isn't the technical term, but capologist. There are far more loopholes and void years and all these different things, tools that they have at their disposal that we do not, playing armchair GM with spa tracking over the cap. So while the cap is a thing, and it does matter, it is not as inflexible a thing as, for example, Miami's quarterback situation or just Cleveland perpetually being miserable and all of these different things that make those jobs less attractive. All right, let's play out a hypothetical here. Deshaun Watson was cleared from physically unable to perform at the end of the season. His cap hit, if somebody could look this up for me, I think it's somewhere 70 mil.
It's astronomical.
Right? I mean, I don't think it's the highest one. I think Dak is owed an outrageous amount of money.
He's owed in the 70s this year when we were talking about potential
Deshaun or
quarterbacks. Dak.
Okay.
I'm looking up Deshaun Watson now. But his is paralleled by the fact that every single year they have to restructure his contract and push money down the $80 million.
Dak?
No,
Deshaun.
Watson.
Deshaun.
What?
And I don't even think that's the worst point. Once this contract is over in 2027, they'll still owe him $25 million because of void cap hits.
That's the thing.
There's no out.
It's guaranteed.
Fully guaranteed. Yep.
$25 million in 2027, basically $17 million in 28, and then an additional $8 million in 29 because of how many restructures.
Christ.
And I think those numbers would go up because
How
they're
does
going to have
Andrew
to
Berry have a job? Ow.
He had a good draft class this last year, Buck.
Harold Fannin Jr. caught like 6 touchdowns. Yeah.
Shut up. He should have been fired. If I'm Stefanski, I am leading a parade to fire Andrew Berry because what?
That's
What
crazy.
an unbelievable contract that is. The worst contract in the history of sport.
Well,
Bobby Bonilla is looking at that Deshaun Watson contract
Smiling down.
and smiling. Well, he's not dead, is he?
He's looking down from his penthouse.
Did you just kill Bobby Bonilla?
He's very much alive. He's younger than Harbaugh. He's younger than John Harbaugh. He's 62 years old.
Lucas had him looking down like Chubbs and damn Happy Gilmore.
I tried to
He's
kill
like
him.
the Jedi in the sky.
Bobby's like, I got so much more money to spend before I go. I'm sorry, Bobby. I didn't mean to do that. I hope he's doing well. You know what Kirk Cousins' cap hit is?
It's not pleasant.
No, in 26, they have an out, $35 million dead money, but with the uncertainty around Michael Penix Jr., I don't know. But in 2026, it's $24.5 million. If he's still around in 2027, that's a $90.4 million cap hit.
Jesus.
Kirk Cousins.
Woof.
So,
a lot of Cole's cash.
So many candles.
He sounds like one of those guys that's like Gronk, right? Like he hasn't spent $1 of his contract money. He's just spending all his endorsement money. Anyway. Last call for phone calls. If you got them, 615-737-1045 is the number. I'm Buck Rising. It's 1045 The Zone. Last call for phone calls. If you got them. 615-737-1045. Do we think it's notable that there is no news one way or the other on Mike Tomlin?
I would say so.
Notable to the effect that status quo, team option for 2026?
When did Harbaugh get fired? Was it Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday for Harbaugh, Thursday for McDaniel, of course, having no relation to the Harbaugh firing, or at least that's what everybody in Miami will tell you.
Give it a day.
Yeah, we'll give it a day. There is a coaching move in Los Angeles. John Harbaugh has fired offensive coordinator Greg Roman, and I don't think I knew this, that Harbaugh's next offensive coordinator of the Chargers will be his first ever offensive coordinator in the NFL not named Greg Roman.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Greg Roman's the only OC Harbaugh's ever had as an NFL head coach.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
I knew he was
there the
with
whole time
them
in San Fran.
In San Francisco, I guess I didn't know he was there for literally every season.
Like Greg Roman was thought of as one of the most innovative minds in football at the time that they changed from Smith to Kaepernick because of how he changed that offense to suit what worked for Smith to what worked for Kaepernick. I mean, people talked about Greg Roman very, very highly. And what was that, the early 2010s? When did they go to the Super Bowl and lose to your Ravens? 12?
2013?
13? So the 13 Super Bowl, the 12 season.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, that year, I think Greg Roman bought himself many, many more years of coaching because of that Kaepernick season.
I think if you look at the most efficient rushing seasons by team in NFL history, Greg Roman authored 3 of them of the top 5 or 6.
So if Jesse Minter gets a head coaching job, Harbaugh's got to replace both. He also fired their offensive line coach, Mike Devlin.
What's that guy supposed to do?
I know, right? He's like, bro, top 2 tackles.
Well, maybe that's like Greg Roman's offensive line coach. And you're like, yeah, okay, we're going to get a different offensive coordinator. Maybe we'll get a different offensive line coach. I don't know.
Did you guys see people poo-pooing them? We talked about it when their PFF scores were shown on some Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and all of the starters were of the worst of PFF's grading. Well, they got an update, and all of them regressed later into the rankings or remained the same if they were the worst. So they added new players to the scoring, and they still didn't improve.
Man.
So does that impact the head coaching cycle? Because how many, there's only the one, Kubiak, in terms of the current offensive coordinators interviewing for head coaching jobs, but there are several former head coaches who could go back to be OCs that would, I think, relish the opportunity to work with Justin Herbert. If I'm Mike McDaniel or Kevin Stefanski or who else is a former offensive, I don't think Mike McDaniel. Daboll. Sure. Does that impact the head coaching pool? Because that immediately becomes, I don't know how many offensive coordinator jobs are going to be open. I don't know if teams have already made those decisions for the most part at this point in time. But Justin Herbert, though I consider him to be a choking dog in the postseason, is still going to be viewed as one of the best quarterbacks in football. Do you think the Titans add Greg Roman to the head coaching interview list? Somebody just made that joke on YouTube.
Doubtful.
I don't know, man.
Who's to say?
19 people. Jason Garrett was not on my hot board this year.
he would be the first offensive play caller to have never been a head coach on that list, and he is 53.
It's crazy how much being, we'll just say, heavier will age you, because I thought Greg Roman was like 20 years older than John Harbaugh.
I don't know. Look at the clumps. All of the clumps look very youthful.
Greg Roman, a product of John Carroll, the D3 school in Ohio, which quietly is the biggest producer of NFL coaches in league history. It's insane.
Who are some other ones?
This random D3 school in Ohio. Don Shula, first of all.
Okay.
Greg Roman, talking about GMs, Chris Polian, Brian Polian, Nick Caley, the Texans OC, Dave Ziegler, right here in Tennessee. Let's see, Tom Telesco, former Raiders GM, David Caldwell, Nick Caserio.
Wow.
Josh McDaniels.
That's insane.
All went to this random
John Carroll?
Tiny D3 school in the middle of Ohio.
What is in the water there?
I don't know.
JMU not just Mark Byington down the road here at West End, coaching up Vanderbilt to an undefeated start to the season. Kurt Cignetti, who's got Indiana undefeated in the national championship. Did you know Miami's defensive coordinator, the one that they hired to fix all the things that were wrong with Cam Ward's Miami Hurricanes in 2024? Also, he was Cignetti's defensive coordinator at JMU. What the hell is going on at these tiny little schools?
I don't know.
Polls at your convenience.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What percentage chance do you give the Titans of landing John Harbaugh? Darren says 95. John says 20%. Titan fan 0024 says 25% chance, as they are one out of the 4 reported teams to be candidates to land John Harbaugh. Karen says 10%.
Robert, what percent?
To land John Harbaugh?
Yes.
I'd give them a modest 5%.
Lucas?
15.
I will go 3.5.
What would you do with Mike Tomlin if you were the Steelers? Keep him or cut him loose? 60% say keep.
I think that's far more likely.
What is the Vols' best QB option in 2026? Brian says figure out who wins out in camp between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon. Cristoforo says Faison Brandon because he has the highest ceiling. Right now, it seems like it's either G-Mac or Brandon, and that seems like the most likely scenario. I don't know who they could go get in the portal right now. I don't think there is anybody they could go get right now that you would point and say, that's the starter.
Those are the polls?
Yep, that's the polls.
Very good.
Something to note on the way out. I hate when media people do this, but Dan Orlovsky just tweeted the side-eye emoji. What could that possibly mean? I know something that you guys don't know.
Just say it.
I know something. Hey, everybody, I'm smart. I'm Dan Orlovsky. I stepped out of bounds and got a safety.
Why is your Dan Orlovsky voice the same as your Cheyenne voice?
No, it's a little different.
No, Cheyenne's is like, whoa, why did I step out of bounds? Dan Orlovsky's is, why did I step out of bounds?
See you tomorrow.